After spoiling Calgary's party, the Blue Bombers look to stay road warriors in Toronto, while the Argos are just trying to stay on their feet. In Game 2, we check out the surprising Rough Riders. They took out Hamilton last week. Now they head to Edmonton, hoping to start 2-0 for the first time since 1989, the last time they hoisted the Grey Cup. You ready for a little football? Oh yeah, it's the Bombers and the Argos, the Riders and the Eskimos, and it's Wendy's Friday Night Football.
Well, anytime's great football, but I know when it feels just right. We're gonna kick back, relax, watching football on a Friday night. It's Friday, and we're gonna be hard to tame. It's Friday, from coast to coast, the CFL is Canada's game. Well, we're all pumped up to party, and we're ready for a fight. Come on, kick back, relax, watching Friday Night Football. Boys, it's too bad, playing CFL football game is up for grabs. It's Friday Night Football tonight.
Well, downtown Toronto was the site of almost all the sporting news on Friday, and tonight it's the site of Game 1 of our doubleheader on Wendy's Friday Night Football. And as we come inside the old CFL Live studios, there's a little more room in here tonight, Eric Tillman. Room to move. We're down a couple of guys. Chris Schultz is actually pulling double duty. He'll be working the Argo game down at Skydome in the booth, and then he'll hustle back for Game 2 of the doubleheader in Edmonton, where Saskatchewan is in Edmonton for their home opener this season. But right now, let's start talking about Winnipeg at Toronto. And I think everybody agrees the big story from Week 1 was the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and their very impressive 48-20 win in Calgary, Eric. And the buzz is happening. Is this the next young up-and-coming team in the CFL?
Well, Dave, it's still early. I mean, after all, it is Week 2. But if you look at the offseason, most of the experts that looked at the Winnipeg team thought that they really had taken a major slide. I mean, you look at the players that they had lost to the National Football League, guys like Albert Johnson, Geroy Simon, Wickman. Armstrong wasn't coming back. Robert Gordon had gone to the National Football League. Most of the base of that team that went to the Eastern Finals was gone. Yet what do? They come out and surprise us in Week 1 in Calgary, play outstanding football, just dominant football, and now they're in position tonight to go on the road, their second week in a row on the road and get a win. And if they're 2-0, then yes, I think they are the surprise of the week.
Yeah, to go home unbeaten would be a big thing for sure. Now, as for Toronto, this is a city that just lost out on a chance to host the Olympic Games. Now, if the Argos are to start 0-2, I think it's pretty well going to push the whole city over the entire edge here. The Argos got to start putting it in the end zone, Eric.
Yeah, they do. I mean, clearly their offense has struggled. If you look at the preseason, nowhere near the continuity they hope to have, and then in the opener, only 3 points. I think the key word for this offense to get going is balance. They have to get the ball to Michael Jenkins. He's one of the best young running backs in the league, and last week he only had 5 carries. 5 for 33 yards. They need to get him the ball in his hands, take the pressure off Kerwin Bell. If they do that, I think they have a chance for success.
Speaking of Kerwin Bell, time to look at the starting quarterbacks for this ball game, brought to you by Wendy's. And starting for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, of course, Kahari Jones. And check out those passing numbers. 17 of 23, that's 74%, and that was the best in Week 1. And the story with Kerwin Bell is, how is that left ankle? Injured it last week against Montreal. Will it be a factor tonight?
Hi, everyone. I'm John Wells.
And I'm Chris Schultz. It's Winnipeg at Toronto, live from Skydome.
It's Wendy's Friday Night Football coming right up.
Excuse me? Dude, wake up. Hello? Yoo-hoo! Dude.
Just a reminder, Wendy's pickup window's open late, so you can get anything on the menu made fresh.
Forget something?
And eat great, even late.
July 24th on CTV. 10 ordinary people will enter this quiet New England town. What happens when they get there?
You just witnessed the murder of the Flint family.
will change their lives forever.
You folks are responsible for solving this crime and bringing this killer to justice.
It's getting more and more twisted.
Murder in Small Town X premieres July 24th on CTV.
If you enter, you could win.
Whoa, did you hear that?
Yeah, it's back and better than ever. VTEC's $1 million baseball giveaway.
If any Toronto player hits for the cycle during a TSN telecast,
You could win $1 million.
or for every Toronto home run on TSN,
You could win the VTEC 2.4 gigahertz cordless phone with digital answering machine.
Enter VTEC's baseball giveaway.
Online at VTECBaseballGiveaway.com.
or mail your entry today.
Die Hard explodes on a special 2-disc DVD.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Loaded with hours of explosive extras. Bruce Willis. Die Hard 5-star special edition. Yippee-ki-yay. Own it today.
The feeling is familiar. The package is new.
Zoom, zoom, zoom.
Introducing the all-new Mazda Protege 5.
Yeah, zoom, 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 zoom. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Same feeling.
Zoom, zoom.
New ride.
Zoom, zoom. Yeah, zoom, zoom, zoom. Yeah, yeah.
Six friends have entered the realm of the supernatural. Now they'll have to stick together.
Good luck.
To survive on July 4th.
Child, Screw Movie 2 is hilarious. Well, I ain't laughed that hard since them white folks drowned in Titanic.
I've never seen a movie that fun. No, my face is hurting.
Scary Movie 2 is nuts. I had a ball watching this movie.
Scary Movie 2.
Laugh, you cry.
I'll see it again.
Now playing. Argonaut All-Star Johnny Scott always has eyes for the quarterback. Speedy slot back Daryl Mitchell has eyes for the ball, and when he gets it, he's gone.
Well, John, opposite him all night long will be Jerron Bolden. He's one of the best defensive backs in the entire CFL. And for the offense, Brandon Dyson. He sets the standard of toughness on a good Winnipeg offensive line.
The Blue Bombers have never had much success at Sky Dome during regular season playoffs or the Grey Cup. After a hot start last week, Winnipeg's luck may be about to change. Head coach Dave Ritchie finally has a few more positives than negatives on his Winnipeg football team. This is year 3 for Ritchie, and there's new hope for the Bombers after a playoff win in Hamilton last year.
And with Michael Clements, believe it or not, he's 2-0 against a Dave Ritchie team, and he's learning on the run on how to be an effective head coach.
The Pinball 6 wins, 2 losses as a head coach in the CFL. We're ready for the kickoff. The Bombers will receive. The Argos set to kick it off, going from left to right across your television screen. Jacob Marini. Deep for the Bombers. Coleman and the newcomer Charles Roberts. It comes up short. Not much room to run down there.
Well, it doesn't get much better than this for Winnipeg. They're starting on their 50-yard line. They have a shorter field. I don't know if the kick was kind of squibbed or whether that was done on purpose. But right now, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are looking good.
Kahari Jones was super in last week's win over Calgary. The Bombers have 3 new starting receivers. Slot back Milt Stiegel makes an impact on every play. Troy Mills shares the rushing duties with Eric Blunt. And Brandon Dyson is the only new face along Winnipeg's offensive line. Bombers do have outstanding field position, starting just shy of the Winnipeg 50. Mills gets the first carry of the ball game. He averaged 5.7 yards a carry last week.
And defensively for this Winnipeg football team, Doug Brown has been one of the biggest surprises. And for Toronto, it's Johnny Scott. He kind of talked very aggressively about being an effective football player. Calvin Tagel, we know all about his abilities. In the defensive backfield, Steinhauer, he's the guy who has to make some key decisions on keeping his vision open and taking away big plays.
Gain was 4 yards. This is 2nd and 6. Bombers trying to get across midfield. In the early moments of game 2 for 2 teams, Kahari Jones puts it up. He'll have the first down On a connection to Jamie Stoddard, number 88, one of the new Bomber receivers, and that'll move the chains for a Winnipeg first down.
Well, you can see how confident Kahari Jones is right now. They opened up with a nice running play, and now watch how strong he throws the ball, sets his feet right where it's supposed to be. The receiver leads him towards the sidelines. You can tell Kahari's in the game.
6 for 81 for Stoddard in limited action last year. On first down, Mills again stumbles forward for a couple.
John, when Winnipeg traded for Troy Mills, I thought it was a great move because he has experience. He reads blocks very well. You look at that football team, the biggest thing that they are this year is balance. Last year it was 5-6 receivers. This year they have a good running game. Johnny Scott makes the play.
He is Mr. Intensity. Johnny Scott, Eastern All-Star in 2000. This is 2nd and 10. Jones is back. Here comes the heat. Got it away, but it'll be short of a first down. Grabbed by Brad Miller. A linebacker last year turned into a blocking back this year, so this Bomber drive stalls.
Well, Johnny Scott does a great job of making an outside move, beating his man to the inside. You see him right at the right defensive tackle position against Mike Abumatrick, and then dives at his legs. And really, Kahari Jones did a good job of still throwing the football with velocity.
So enter Troy Westwood, hitting on 77% of his kicks last year. Jones will put it down. 48. Westwood puts it up, and he puts it through, so the Bomber drive stalls. Winnipeg settles for 3. Not a bad start to Wendy's Friday Night Football from Toronto.
Want to win $1 million? Shop and swipe your Safeway Club card for automatic $1 million touchdown to win entry. If your name appears, you could win $1 million if 2 kickoffs are returned for touchdowns in today's game. Shop and swipe at Safeway today.
Canadians have places to go, things to do, so they go Midas. Alignment, we do that. Air conditioning, we do that. Brakes, we do that. So for total car care by certified technicians, who does it all? Midas, we do that.
Try and catch the wind. Not an easy thing. Neither is growing up with an amputation. Through the CHAMP program, the War Amps is there to help from the very start. With artificial limbs, counseling, education, and most of all, a belief that for these kids, when it comes to success, the sky is the limit. The War Amps Winner's Circle, a tradition of amputees helping amputees.
The British Open begins Thursday on TSN.
Wendy's Friday Night Football on TSN is brought to you in part by Wendy's, the official hamburger of the CFL, and by Molson Canadian. I am Canadian.
Bombers score in the opening drive, and the Argonauts really have to respond here tonight, Chris. They were 2 and out far too many times in the early going last week against Montreal.
4 times, John, 2 and out last week.
Daryl Mitchell makes the catch. He's wrapped up by Harold Nash in a hurry. So Kerwin Bell hopes to last more than a couple of quarters tonight if he can. The Argos will test the Bomber defense. Wide receiver Ted Alford gets his first start. Daryl Mitchell remains the Argos' key receiver. Michael Jenkins will run the ball. Up front, the right side is new for Toronto with Chris Gilbert and Juan Roque at guard and tackle on the right side. A loss of 3, 2nd and 13. Nicely played under the coverage. And a huge play for Ted Alford, making a first down after the catch. So Bell read it well, and Alford executed it perfectly for a 16-yard gain.
For the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, the big surprise has been defensive tackle Doug Brown. He is a force in the middle. In the secondary, I really like the fact that Tom Uritt is an experienced athlete, can make great plays, understands this game, and he might be the one that can turn it around with a big interception.
And on the corners, Bolden and Coleman will have a busy night. Bolden always sets up against the top receiver, so he'll see a lot of Mitchell. And very little room underneath. It was Brown in there to make the tackle on Michael Jenkins.
You know, this is a type of game with Toronto Argonauts. They can't afford to fall behind early. Why? Because then Michael Jenkins really doesn't become part of the offense. John Jenkins, the offensive coordinator, has to be patient. It's 3-0 Winnipeg, but even if it gets 17-0 Winnipeg, Michael Jenkins has to be a big part of this offense.
Well, they'll use 5 receivers quite a bit tonight. 2nd and 9 as Jenkins picked up a mere yard. Bell releases in a hurry, has his man, he'll be short of the first down. Alfonso Browning made the catch. He's the ex-Alouette. He has 6.
And really what Kerwin Bell does is he tries very hard to get rid of the football before the pressure comes. Constantly, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are going to bring pressure from the backside, and Kerwin Bell knows that. He can feel it. He doesn't necessarily have to see it. He can feel it. That's a nice pitch and catch, but no first down.
Tonight's starting lineup brought to you by Midas. Keep a good thing going. Go Midas. Again, the Argos in an early kicking situation, although they did get 1 first down. Marvin Coleman and Charles Roberts are deep for the Blue Bombers. Pretty nice kick by McKenzie. Charles Roberts is roughed up by 4 Argonauts near the 25. Bombers 1st and 10 when we return to. There's Schultze's keys to success for this one tonight. For the Argos, early execution.
Hey, the reason that Winnipeg beat Calgary is they won the line of scrimmage by playing physical.
For the Bombers, rock the boatmen.
Absolutely, execution is the key on offense for Toronto.
And overall, it's showtime. Argos need to step it up.
This is their 2nd home game. They got 1 more to go. They have to win one of them.
Bombers 1st and 10, Winnipeg 25. Tough running inside.
Well, it's tough running because
the ball carrier.
It's tough running because of Alfred Payton. And talking to the Argos, they said, who is your best defensive lineman? They said Alfred Payton. He graded out the best, and he's also become a leader on this football team. Usually Alfred, he's a troublemaker sometimes. He doesn't always get along with his players. Well, not anymore. Alfred Payton is one of the leaders on the Toronto Argonaut defense.
He's a 2-time Blue Bomber. He had 2 tours of duty in Winnipeg. Big play for the Argonauts there. Limited the gain to 1 yard. 2nd and 9 here. Bombers at the 26 with a 3-point lead. Kahari Jones pump fake once, looking deep. Stoddard has it. It's a foot race to the end zone. Jamie Stoddard finally tracked down from behind by Damian Johnson.
Well, anytime you're a quarterback and you have the ability to pump fake, that means that you have plenty of time in the pocket. You look at Kahari Jones, he's going to set his feet, he's going to move a little bit in the pocket, but he's going to really throw off the safety there, and then he's going to go deep. And that amount of time lets those routes fully develop. It allows those receivers to have double moves. If a defensive back gets beat on a single move, that's unacceptable. A double move is the hardest thing for a defensive back to cover.
Nice little pump fake there by
nice pump.
Kahari Jones. Stoddard has 68 yards and sets the Blue Bombers up at the Argonauts 16. Huge play for Winnipeg. Arlen Bruce, number 4, flanked to the near side. Nice fake by Jones. Has an open target and down to the 1 yard line.
You know, John, going into this
Miller
game,
made the catch. Sorry.
It's okay. Going into this game, I asked Coach Ritchie, I said, what were you worried about the most with the Toronto Argonauts? He said the defensive football team. They've got a lot of veteran guys. You see Kahari Jones here, the play action fake. They were worried that they wouldn't be able to move the football on this veteran team. Well, they're finding receivers open and they're executing at a high level. The Winnipeg Blue Bombers are moving on a veteran Argonaut football team.
Wade Miller, a linebacker last year, picked up substantial yardage there. Kahari Jones perfect so far. Bombers set up at the 1 yard line, and Mills, they haven't signaled touchdown. Now they have, is into the end zone for the touchdown.
Well, they're making it look rather simple. They have not had one negative play where they have either lost yards or they have not been able to sustain it. You watch Kahari here, it's as simple as just running Mills right up the middle, put the emphasis on your center, your guards. You see Mike Abumetric get underneath number 70, Roger Dumback, create the scene, touchdown Winnipeg. They look great right now.
Well, a 68-yard setup for the Troy Mills touchdown. And Wade Miller had a hand in it too from the 14. He got it down to the 1. So Kahari Jones, a perfect night going so far. 4 for 4 in passing and scoring plays in the opening 2 drives.
You know, you talk about Kahari Jones, I think of all the CFL quarterbacks, he hands it off to Mills there. He is about the most enjoyable to watch because you just see the progression. You see him improve. You see him get better and better as the years have passed and as the games have passed. He's a smart guy. He is a physical athlete. He can run. And he's now making plays like these spontaneous plays that really are an experience issue. Kahari Jones is one of the most improved quarterbacks over a short period of time.
Well, he got his chance last year when he took over from Kerwin Bell. There's the pump fake. There's the toss.
And I really like the pump fake because that shows confidence. Anytime the quarterback can sit back there and really use that motion, that is the key that the defensive backs use for. And it is so tempting to jump on that first pump fake. The Argonauts did, and that really allowed the receiver to be open. Touchdown Winnipeg.
Great drive for the Bombers.
Really was.
Elberg is deep, along with Jenkins, for the Winnipeg kickoff from Troy Westwood. This is Michael Jenkins returning for the Argonauts out to the 20. And 3 Bombers met him and stood him up at the 25. 20 on the return. Here's John Lou.
Well, John, Kerwin Bell's ankle is fine for now. He's perfect, 3 for 3, and he's doing exactly what the Winnipeg defense thought he would do. He's doing the short drops, the quick releases, and trying to protect himself. However, if he does go down, and Pinball Clemens was very evasive yesterday about how long Kerwin Bell would stay in this game, Jimmy Kemp is ready to go. He's confident, although he threw 3 interceptions last week.
Yeah, I'm sure he's building on confidence after 3 interceptions last week.
Yes.
Including 1 for a touchdown. Argonauts really want Bell to stay healthy and in the game. Here's Jenkins. Nice run for Jenkins, and that'll net the Argonauts a first down out across the 35 to about the 37-yard line.
Great run by Michael Jenkins because he uses his eyes so well. He attacks the line of scrimmage, and then when he sees a seam, and it all is just flashes and it's just moments, he will find that seam and accelerate through.
Well, when you got huge tackles like Roque on one side and Morgan on the other, you should be able to run the ball a little bit.
Helps a lot.
Jenkins again. And not quite as much success that time. The Bombers have opened up a 10-0 lead on the Argonauts, scoring in the opening 2 drives.
You know, one of the hardest things to do in football, whether you're an offensive coordinator or a coach or a quarterback, is to be patient throughout a game, to execute your game plan. There's always like a tendency to panic when you're down by a number of points. I'll be interested to see how much patience this Toronto offense has right now.
2nd and 8. Bell from the shotgun. Has a little mobility out there. Browning is stopped well short of the first down. Wrapped up by Dave Donaldson, number 2.
And what was impressive by the play is Dave Donaldson made a nice tackle. A lot of times you're going to see a quarterback roll towards a play, hit the receiver in stride, and the key is how fast can that defense come up and make the tackle. You see a nice accurate throw, but there's Dave Donaldson right there, no first down.
Dave Donaldson had 19 starts last year in 18 games. He started 1 game for the Bombers on offense and defense as well. Versatile guy. Kicking situation for the Argos again. Scott McKenzie, not real deep. Marv Coleman gets it out to the 35. And again, the Bombers will begin with decent field position after a 3. And Smith, I believe, was covering on the far side of the field.
Well, you see Kahari once again, he's got great protection in the sense that he can really set his feet and throw the ball. He gets the interference penalty because he has the time and ability to throw to a certain spot, then the receiver adjusts in the air. And there's something that needs to be talked about. If the Winnipeg Blue Bombers go down and score, there's no defensive coordinator in reality for this team. You see the coverage, you see Adrian Smith. If he did not grab that receiver, that would have been another touchdown.
Marcus Howell, number 82, is the intended target. Pass interference is the call against Smith. First down, Bombers outside the 50 of the Argos. Harry Jones with a couple and forced out by Tiggle on the far side.
Well, Calvin Tiggle's one Argonaut that you can count on to play with a high level of intensity each and every play. He takes his read with Troy Mills on the play action fake, and now the chase is on. This is speed on speed, and Kahari doesn't want to dip his shoulder. He wants to run out of bounds. And there's Tiggle right exactly where he's supposed to be. Good linebacker for the Argonauts.
Bombers have the lead. Quarterback Kahari Jones, 4 for 4, 98 yards. Good for the 10-0 advantage. And the interference call adds another 25 yards to this Bomber drive. Winnipeg looking at 2nd and 8. Jones has time, now escapes the pocket. He'll have the first down and lots to spare. The Bomber drive continues. It's now inside the 35. As Kahari Jones scampers for 16.
Oh, he really does. I mean, when you have that much time and your receivers aren't open, what's the next thing to do is really go athletic, roll out of the pocket, and just run by yourself. He looks for Stiegel. He doesn't find Stiegel on the seam route down the middle. He's covered very well by Capers, so he might as well take off and get some yards. We talked about him in the sense that he's smart, he's intuitive, and there he is athletic. Kahari Jones is a fast quarterback.
And he rushed for 1 touchdown last week. For the Bombers in that huge win over the Stampeders. Winnipeg. Now at the Argo 35, and there was nowhere to go for Troy Mills.
Well, you know, this Argonaut team, I mean, Johnny Scott talked a lot about how we should ISO him in the sense that he's going to make some plays and embarrass some people. That's good run defense there. Johnny Scott did his job, made his read, and tackled Troy Mills behind the line of scrimmage. But in reality, that is the first negative yardage play the Bombers have experienced so far.
Bombers are having their way with this Argonaut defense thus far. 120 yards for Winnipeg. Offensively thus far, the Argos have 36. A loss on the play there. This is 2nd and 12. And the Bombers will come up short of a first down, but there's a marker down in the Bomber backfield.
Well, it may have been an over-anxious Johnny Scott to try to get to the quarterback. Kahari Jones is in his rhythm. He's finding receivers. In that case, he found Stiegel on the crossing pattern. Here he's going to set at 7 yards. You see Johnny Scott, the left tackle position, against Mike Abumatrik, and he's going to make the play. It's a roughing on the quarterback. Johnny Scott, you got to settle down and play football. You watch number 85, Milt Stiegel right here. He's the biggest threat offensively for this Bomber team. Just a real soft post towards the inside. The Argonauts did a great job in terms of getting to the quarterback right there, but it's a late hit.
Now penalties compound the Argonaut problems as the Bombers are set up deep inside Toronto territory again. From the 11-yard line, 1st and 10, Winnipeg. Miller stopped in his tracks.
Well, Wade Miller to me is a real interesting story. I mean, here's a guy, a fullback, right? And when you look at him, he really doesn't look like he should be playing football. I mean, you look at the other fullbacks in the league, like a Dwayne Ford. Dwayne Ford looks like he should be an Olympic bodybuilder. Wade Miller looks like he should own a donut shop. But I'll tell you what, if you want one guy to execute assignment and execute it effectively, it's your fullback, and that is Wade Miller's strength. His desire to play this game supersedes his really genetic ability. He's a survivor in the Canadian Football League.
Well, no, he's really quite a story, almost a Rudy type in some ways.
Right.
Special teams player who was listed as a linebacker last year. Had a little time to play fullback, and he's making a contribution into the end zone. Bomber touchdown. Arlen Bruce III has his first CFL touchdown. Got in behind the cover, and Kahari Jones put it right on the money.
And look at the smile on Kahari Jones, because this is a little bit too easy to believe. Arlen Bruce may have had a little bit of a push-up off in the sense that he extended his arm right into the chest of the defender before he caught the football, but it really doesn't matter. It's a touchdown for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. You see Kahari here. He knows exactly where he's going to go. He looks to the right, makes sure the safety moves to that side, then he throws a nice little corner route. Excellent pass, nice catch.
This is looking far too easy for the Bombers. The Argos have had miscues and penalties, and the offense has not been able to move the ball. So the Argonaut defense has been on the field, and the Bombers have been taking full advantage of Argonaut errors.
Well, you know, one part of it is Kahari Jones, and part of it is the receivers seem to be in sync. You see how well the ball is thrown. I mean, it's right in stride. It's right in the chest of the receiver. It doesn't get any better than that. That is an excellent throw with limited pressure.
Yeah, but here's Kahari Jones looking at only one veteran receiver in his lineup, Milt Stiegel. He's gone to Stoddard. He's gone to Bruce, who's also a newcomer. Stoddard was around last year, but saw minimal action.
And I give a lot of credit to Rick Mormon. He's the new offensive coordinator for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and his theory is to have multiple sets to really isolate players and to get everybody involved. But also in terms of the protection package, they use different type of fronts, they use different blocking combinations, so really a defense is always off balance. Rick Mormon has got back to more conventional offense, but that is what Dave Ritchie likes. He likes that type of offense that has 50% run, 50% pass, and is being very effective tonight.
Another Blue Bomber kickoff. Brad Elberg and Michael Jenkins are back, and this is Jenkins. Out to about the 22, and again, the Argonauts do not have very good field position with which to begin this drive.
You know, a lot is discussed about field position, and why is it so important in CFL football? Because it's the starting point of a drive. It's very difficult in three-down football to make positive play after positive play after positive play. If you can do it, you got yourself a great offense. You look at the Bomber drive, 7 plays, 74 yards, 3 minutes and 17 seconds. It doesn't get much better than that.
And now this Bomber defense fires up too, with a chance to pin the Argos deep. Kerwin Bell needs to get something going. That's not a bad start. Ted Alford's second catch of the ball game, and he's out near the 50.
I'm talking to John Jenkins. I talked about the receivers, Daryl Mitchell, but one guy he really likes because he fits so well into the system is Ted Alford. Sometimes the talent level and the system don't mesh. Sometimes they do. Ted Alford in John Jenkins' system will flourish. So that is a beautiful catch.
Argonauts' average drive start is back at the 28-yard line. They were inside that this time, but a big play by Alford gets them out to the 50. There was early movement, and Bell has a chance to find Mitchell. It's picked off. Not quite. Raphael Ball almost had the interception. Bombers had a chance at 4 or 5 last week against Calgary, and dropped a couple of easy ones.
Well, I have to tell you, in previewing the Winnipeg-Calgary game, I was surprised. I didn't think the Bombers could go into McMahon and play as physical and dominate the line of scrimmage the way they did. They have new Canadian talent in Doug Brown, and also Denny Fortenay, the defensive tackle, is an underestimated player. The two defensive tackles for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are excellent as a pair. They communicate well, they put pressure, and the timing of their stunts works well together.
Bombers offside on the previous play. That was the infraction, so the Argos look at 1st and 5, and the ball spotted right on midfield. Michael Jenkins, nice spin move. He'll have a first down. Lots to spare for Michael Jenkins down to Winnipeg 35.
Oh, I really like this guy. I mean, Michael Jenkins has so many natural instincts. When you look at running backs, part of it is having the ability to see things and to do things in a very reactive way because it happens so fast. Part of it is how well you study, how well you pick up the blitz, but when it comes to a good instinct runner, that is Michael Jenkins.
19 yards the gain. He's a second-year Argonaut out of Arkansas. Good hands as well as good quick feet. Play action fake. Bell barely got it away. Jenkins held on to it momentarily and then lost the ball.
Well, here it goes. Here we get started.
Brian Clark on the coverage down there, and a penalty flag flies. Well, that skirmish down there.
Juan Roque was a little bit upset in terms of how intense the Winnipeg defensive line was. And you know what? That's nice to see. Because Juan Roque is 6'8". He's 330 pounds. He's adapting to this type of football, and he is going to be a real good one. It's just a matter of time. Now watch how fast the Winnipeg defense closes. This tells me, first and foremost, they have these guys extremely well scouted. They know that if If Kerwin Bell does not see something deep, he's going to go back a level and then go back a level, and he's going to look for his running back. Great reaction by the Winnipeg defense.
Well, rough play on both sides of the ball, so that will be nullified.
That's always the way it is in football. They never have a single guy. They always have two guys.
Well, one each way, so the play stands for the Argonauts. It'll be 2nd and 10, Toronto at the Winnipeg 36. Bombers out to a quick lead, just 44 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Kerwin Bell, a little fake, looks deep, looks to the corner. Touchdown, Toronto. Alfonso Browning.
That was a great example. You see Michael Clemens there of working your system, getting the big play.
Great drive in response by the Argonauts. Kerwin Bell engineered it over 88 yards in 5 plays. 36-yard catch by Browning ends up in the Winnipeg end zone. There were other key plays like the Jenkins run.
Absolutely. That set up the big play because it really makes those linebackers very aware of the running game. You know, John Jenkins' offense will work. If you give it time, if you practice it and practice it and practice it, and the plays, the important plays, have to be repped an enormous amount of time, then you can execute them in a game.
Robertson Coleman deep for the Blue Bombers for this Argonaut kick. This is Charles Roberts, number 1 in Winnipeg. Oh! And a nice tackle by Joseph from behind. Or Charles Roberts would have had more yards. Number 20, Darren Joseph.
Dave Ritchie really likes Charles Roberts. He knows he has Troy Mills. He knows he has Eric Blum. But Charles Roberts is the matchup nightmare that Winnipeg wants to use later in the game.
Bombers have not won in Skydome since 1994.
Is that right? I was still playing back then.
Yep, and they hammered you that night. 54-34.
I scored the 34 points. I don't know what happened.
Troy Mills for only a yard or so.
Well, much better defense by the Toronto Argonauts in taking care of the line of scrimmage. That the Argonauts could take the football and score some points. I mean, that's the beginning of something good. Everything has a beginning drive. That was a good one.
To begin the second quarter, it's 2nd down, 9.5 to go for the Bombers. Kahari Jones has had time all night, and he's on the money. Harlan Bruce III has another catch for Winnipeg. Substantial yardage to go with it. Nice 20-yard gain.
Sorry, John, you can see that Kahari Jones is very confident in how he's delivering the football. There is a huge separation between the receiver and the defensive back here. That distance right there is immense in CFL football. The tackle was good, but the coverage has to tighten up. Easier said than done, but Kahari Jones is on top of his game.
He really has looked cool out here tonight. Looked very solid last week against the Stampeders at McMahon and Calgary, and a huge win for Winnipeg. Bombers now 1st down. At the Argonaut 50, a little swing pass. Troy Mills turns the corner. Flags come down as he does. If it's a penalty against the Argonauts, the Bombers will have a 1st down, but I don't think it will be. Numbers from the opening quarter. Net yards for the Bombers, 141 compared to 119. And that time of possession is really a key there, isn't it?
That one right there, that is a lot to having to do with the success.
Winnipeg, number 85. 2nd down, repeat it.
And really, when you look at the net yards, Toronto got most of their yards in that last possession. The first 3-4 possessions were kind of experimental for them.
Penalty against the Bombers, so maybe a few good things are starting to happen for the Argos here. They forced Winnipeg into a 1st and 20 situation as a result of that penalty, and back to the Winnipeg 50-yard line. Flag down. Bomber backfield as Kahari Jones scampers for the near sideline and into the Bomber bench. The run was 9 yards.
Well, it's probably going to be holding on the Bombers' offensive line. Right now, Ty Rogers kind of ran over his man. They're starting to get a little bit more pressure. But still, when you look at all their defensive fronts, John, they're basically simple. There's nothing really exotic in what they're doing. They're not trying to X stunts.
Winnipeg, number 57.
Nope.
First down, repeat it.
Tripping is pretty well the same as holding when you think about it. You see Johnny Scott chasing the play down. There's been a nice little momentum shift for the Bombers, or for the Argonauts right now, because this is now a second or first and long situation.
Yeah, penalties have hurt Winnipeg in the last couple of sequences. Earlier, they hurt the Argonauts. And Winnipeg is now facing a long first down. 30 yards necessary for Kahari Jones on this sequence. After back-to-back penalties, throwing on the run. Harlan Bruce III right out to midfield at the 55 and wrapped up there by Shaw. He got half of it back, Chris.
Yes, he did. Anytime you have pressure in the pocket, the best next thing to do is get your quarterback outside of the pocket, because then, although that splits the field in half, if you flood that side of the field with receivers, you're going to find someone open. There were 4 Bomber receivers to the right-hand side. Kahari Jones goes that way, finds the open man, connects for a nice big game.
Kahari Jones perfect so far. 8 of 8 for 154 yards and the 1 touchdown. On 2nd and 15, it'll be another Bomber first down as Milt Stiegel has a catch and draws a penalty marker. Marcelo Simmons covering on Stiegel.
And he was covering man on man, and this is where Stiegel has such a big advantage over other defensive backs because of the way he can adjust. You see the Toronto Argonauts with everyone on the line of scrimmage. They're going to make an effort to really get in the face of Kahari Jones.
Objection
so what does he do?
Winnipeg, number 82, first down.
He adjusts on the play, finds the one-on-one, picks up the game.
A little taunting call against Stiegel, so the Bombers will get the first down, but they'll lose yardage and move back to the 46. Troy Mills for a couple. Argonauts have a tough opening schedule after meeting Montreal. They've got the red-hot Blue Bombers tonight, and next Friday night, the Hamilton Tiger Cats drive up to QEW to take on the Argonauts here at Skydome. Ticket information is available at the number there. Fairly easy to recall, 489-ARGO.
That's our game on Friday night. The Hamilton Ticats looked really good last night against the BC Lions.
Winnipeg looks at 2nd and 8 after a 2-yard gain by Mills.
There you go.
Jones near side, dangerous pass, but Stoddard brings it in. He'll be shot at the first down.
Very dangerous pass, but nice catch by Stoddard.
Oh, no, it wasn't. He was well covered, and Stoddard did a nice job to hang on to the ball and not let the defender step in front.
I talked to Coach Ritchie about his Canadian talent and how it's been elevated over the years, and he mentioned the obvious guys, but one of the guys he was most happy with was Jamie Stoddard.
Byron Capers was covering on Stoddard there, so Stoddard has made a couple of nice catches, including one for 68 yards. Bombers in a field goal situation here. Jones will spot it at the 47. Westwood is under it, made one already, and he doesn't have this one. Hit the upright going through, so Westwood misses one. Dead ball. Bombers still on top by 10 on Wendy's Friday Night Football.
Play Safeway's $1 million touchdown to win. Shop and swipe your club card.
Based on the distance that the cornerback gives the receiver, Ted Alford probably looked at Kerwin Bell, said, if you throw me this hitch right now, I'm going to be able to make some yards.
Argonaut offense had problems early, and Kahari Jones of the Bombers did not. He was good on 10 of 11 for 176 yards and 1 touchdown up until that last sequence. Positive yards for the Argos, though, in the previous play. This is 2nd and 2. Jenkins cranks it around the corner, and that'll be another Argonaut first down. Go back to that interception, and really, for the Argonauts on their way back. Even giving up 3 points kind of hurts the momentum there.
Well, it really does. I mean, because the more you get behind in the game, the more you get out of your game plan. I still think you have to give the ball to Jenkins in a series of different types of plays. He reminds me a lot of Kelvin Anderson for the Calgary Stampeders in that he's versatile, but he still has that power to break tackles.
This guy has good hands, too. Had a chance to be a 1,000-yard runner and receiver last year. Oh, right on the numbers.
That hurts.
Grayson Shillingford couldn't hang on to that one.
That really hurts because so much of this offense is based on precision football. Kerwin Bell hit the receiver exactly where it has, right in the numbers. You have to catch those passes because it breaks the rhythm of the offense. You get into 2nd and long situations, and those are so much harder to really convert into first downs than even at 7 yards or at 5 yards. Now Winnipeg has the option on which linebacker they're going to blitz. A key here, the uncovered lineman for Toronto has to pick up those blitzing linebackers.
2nd and 10 Argonauts. Bell moves to the shotgun to buy a little time. Puts it across the field. Incomplete on the far side. Bell didn't miss by much.
No, he didn't. That was a great defensive play by Marvin Coleman. They brought him over to the Calgary Stampeders. Calgary Stampeders kind of thought, well, maybe he's not going to play up to the level we expect. They picked him up, and he has been very beneficial for this team. I mean, if you look at this Bomber team, beautiful play by the cornerback. Where they have improved the most is in the defensive backs. Raphael Ball, Marvin Coleman, good corner players that are steady and consistent.
Yeah, it was really Coleman's play because he got a hand in there, and Shillingford, who dropped the previous one, couldn't come up with the ball. Welcome back to Skydome. Hot start for the Blue Bombers. Kahari Jones has only missed one.
He's only missed one, 176 yards. And, you know, if you look at the quarterback position, you're a little bit like the orchestra leader. I mean, you are very responsible for making sure everyone's in the right place at the right time. Then you're also responsible for your own performance. And Kahari Jones is doing both of those aspects of quarterback play.
He has been the maestro out here tonight. So far, 10 of 11, 176 yards. But the Bombers start deep in Winnipeg territory. Deepest situation all night at the 12. So they keep it on the ground, and Mills breaks out of there. Troy Mills out across the 30 to about the 32. Adrian Smith brought him down after a 19-yard gain.
This is beautiful, and part of it is the backside with Mo Elawanabe washing it down, and part of it is Troy Mills cutting back against the grain. That's vision, that's experience. Alfred Payton came too far upfield. Troy Mills read that, knew the seam would be there, accelerated through. Great running play.
That's a huge play for the Bombers from back at the 12-yard line. They're now out at the 30. 1st and 10, Winnipeg. Absolutely no running room that time. Johnny Scott along that Argonaut defensive line is never a shrinking violet. Here was a quote in the paper today. People are going to double team us, and do they want to stop us? If TSN puts the camera on us, we'll embarrass a couple of people for you. That was
okay. We'll watch you, Johnny. We'll see how many plays you make from now on.
Embarrass some people tonight. Okay. Gain is 1. This is 2nd and 9 Blue Bombers with a comfortable 13-point lead heading to halftime. Another nice catch out across midfield and wrapped up by Byron Capers. Stoddard has had a real nice night.
Boy, he really has.
26 yards there.
And what was so good about this play, Kahari Jones hit Stoddard right in stride. I mean, crossing patterns are one of the hardest passes to complete because if you hit that guy in stride, you're going to gain some yards. Now, if you throw it behind him, it's going to get tipped. If you throw it too far ahead of him, he's going to run right into a linebacker. That was a great throw, a nice catch in stride.
12 games for the Blue Bombers last year. But this is easily his best game in the CFL. 4 receptions, 110 yards for Stoddard. He's out of the U of A. Now the Bombers can change things up. When Mills gets a little tired, they can go to Eric Blunt.
And And Eric Blunt is a different type of running back. Troy Mills is kind of the power guy. He's going to make one move, and he's going to hit that line of scrimmage. Eric Blunt, he's got a little bit of dancing shoes in him. He's going to make some people miss. He's going to do a good job of setting up his blocks, staying behind his blocks, and gaining yards.
Mills is kind of the pounder in there, and Blunt a slasher.
I like that description.
There you go. 2nd and 5. Bombers threatening to cross more deeply into Argonaut territory here. Here's Blunt for a couple. He'll be well short of the first down, however. Solid defensive work by the Argonauts up front against the run a couple of times tonight.
But you see, the difference between this Winnipeg football offense and last year's, they would have had 5 receivers or 6 receivers. They wouldn't have gone back to the running game. But what the running game does is it gets your offensive linemen, your people that block, that have to maintain their aggressiveness throughout a game. It keeps them aggressive. Every team that has success in the CFL has balance, and Winnipeg is showing a balanced offense.
Bombers are missing from last year Robert Gordon, Albert Johnson III, who was the Rookie of the Year, and G. Roy Simon. All have found football assignments elsewhere. And when you add it all up, Chris, that's
a lot.
Yeah, 17 touchdowns.
That's a lot of
those
offense.
Guys were responsible for last year. So they've gone to a little more running game with Mills and with Blunt, and it's paid off again tonight. This one off the side of Cameron's foot. Will be called at the 25 a couple of times. Elberg.
Well, I hope Bob Cameron, hope he doesn't take this one too personally. He's been punting now for about 20 years, and I don't know if there's anyone more effective in terms of punting against the wind, but that one he kind of shanked off the side of his foot. You see Brad Elberg there, and talking to Michael Clemens, asked, who are your leaders? Who are the guys that you know you can depend on? And he said, in the special teams, you can depend on Brad Elberg. You see Bob Cameron there. He continues to be effective. And, you know, as football has evolved, it used to be by the time you hit 30,
first down.
By the time you hit 30, your career's over. Not anymore. You got football players 35, 36. Look at Damon Allen, 38 years old, still effective as a football player.
Look at Bob Cameron.
Bob Cameron.
He's 46, 22nd season in the league.
Is he 46?
He's 46.
47 next week.
And he is the oldest player in professional football anywhere in the world. A little upset at that 17-yard punt, however. Argonauts take advantage with decent field position. Mitchell made the catch.
And you watch Daryl Mitchell here. He is one of the keys in terms of getting the football to him and getting the football to him in stride. But watch very closely. This is a nice adjustment move. And who is right on his tail? Jerron Bolden. Talking to Clemens, I said, who's their best player? He said, Jerron Bolden. And I know they're going to put him on Daryl Mitchell. This is the one-on-one challenge that the Argonauts have got to win as this game progresses.
Argonauts, with just under 4 minutes to go, have a first down. It's Mitchell again. Very dangerous after the catch many times, but he didn't find much room there. Likely slid the wrong way. Fortney wrapped him up, number 90.
Now let me criticize Daryl Mitchell a little bit. I mean, this is a good play. You run the hitch pass, you get it to Daryl Mitchell in space, okay? Nice pattern, comes back, gets the football, turns and takes it up. But now watch right there. Do not hesitate. Get upfield. I know you're trying to go misdirection, but get upfield.
Well, and don't cut back into the middle.
No, because that's where all the linebackers are. Avoid linebackers.
He did pick up 5. Michael Jenkins is short of the first down on about a 4-yard run. Now the spot could be rather important here for Mike Clemens, and the decision that might have to be made. They haven't spotted the ball down yet. Timeout at Skydome. It's the Bombers leading the Argos 20-17.
Want to win $1 million?
Holding the return to 7 yards after a 50-yard kick by Scott McKenzie. Well, now here's where the defense, Chris, really has to step up.
That's what I was going to say. Here's the situation. You have the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on their own 17, 2:46 to go with 3 minutes, so the clock is constantly stopping after every play. Toronto needs to get a fast 2 and out. Even if they punt the ball, they're going to get it around midfield, and that gives them only half the field to either get into field goal position or take a shot for a touchdown. This is a critical series for Toronto with a score 20-7.
So the key for the Argonaut defense here, big play, hold the Bombers and force them to punt or grab the turnover and try and get some positive yards and points. Kahari Jones, dangerous play.
Yes.
Very dangerous on a swing pass to Mills with O'Shea lurking in the territory. Ooh.
Well, you watch this play and you watch what Kahari was able to do. He first looks downfield, freezing the safety, but the pressure is right there from the interior 3. Now that's Mike O'Shea. That is studied because he sees the flow of the play and he knows in this situation the tendency for Winnipeg is to try that type of play. That means that Mike O'Shea is prepared to play this football game.
O'Shea and Tiggle together for the first time. 12 tackles between them last week in a losing cause against Montreal. 2nd and 10. Draw play to Blunt. Turns the corner. Can't get all the way outside. So the Argos hold and the Bombers will be forced to kick. That time it was Tiggle. Pretty nice linebacking tandem there.
Well, you know, it's interesting because you look at linebackers and Calvin is kind of like the vocal leader. His enthusiasm for football, it kind of transfers to the other players. And then the other linebacker, Mike O'Shea, he is not a vocal guy. He's much more the type of guy that's going to take care of the business. You watch the play. This is a nice adjustment by Eric Blunt because basically at the point of attack it was crushed, sprints to the outside, gets what he can on the football play.
Tiggle makes that play. Better kick for Cameron. Smith waits for it. At the 42, and leading the tacklers was Harold Nash, -1 on the return, 43 on the kick. And now, Kerwin Bell time. 9 of 13 for 111 yards thus far in the opening half.
You know, we look at the Toronto football team. We talk a lot about their lack of special teams coach, a really identifiable coach, but also Adrian Smith. I don't know if he should be your primary punt returner. Toronto has to find a young guy who can accelerate, that can do that as a primary job. Adrian Smith, that shouldn't be his primary job.
Argonauts beginning at the 42, first down. Bell shotgun. Time to throw under the cover. He has Alford. Ted Alford over from arena football. Saw a little time in British Columbia in earlier years.
And he's limping off the field significantly, John. I mean, Ted Alford may have sprained his ankle on the play. You look at their missing agreements. Archie Amerson, 5 catches, 32 yards last week, and Tyrone Brown. This league is a slot back league. They could really use those guys in the game here.
Gain of 4, 2nd and 6. Shotgun for Bell. He won't get it away. Wrapped up by Big Doug Brown, number 97. 6'7".
300 pounds?
I would say, yeah.
He's going to slim down
right
about
there.
He's going to get into like the skinny 290 range, but you watch Doug Brown and the pressure that he brings, and he works so well with Denny Fortenay, the other defensive tackle. See, defensive coordinators try to pair guys. In Hamilton, it's Ben Huff and Joe Montford. In Winnipeg, it's Doug Brown right there and Denny Fortenay. They work well together.
First sack of the night. He had 1 last week. Also had a touchdown in his CFL regular season debut.
And boy, he looks like Kent Warnock. I played against Kent Warnock, had some great years with the Stampeders, ended up with the BC Lions. The same type of player that has the big height, has a great quick feet, and has it all as a defensive tackle.
He's huge and chiseled, much like yourself when you broke into the league.
Oh, thank you, John.
However, times have changed in your case.
I got set up there. I didn't know how to react to the compliment. I was like, wait a minute, something's wrong here.
They won't come very frequently.
That's all right. I'm mentally tough, John. I can take it, baby.
Less than 2 to go. Charge was on again. Good kick. Down to the 21. Coleman, the ex-Stampeder, gets out to the 31-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 Winnipeg from there after a 48-yard punt.
With 1:46, Winnipeg really doesn't have to panic. They can use the entire playbook. They can use their receivers. They don't necessarily have to start throwing to the sidelines to get a receiver out of bounds. They can run the crossing patterns, the seam patterns. Their whole offense is wide open. It was disappointing for Toronto because basically the defense did their job the previous play. They got the ball back to the offense, but the offense could not progress. Everything in football is about having that balance between all 3 units. The defense seems to be coming on, but then the offense loses their rhythm. We'll see how the defense does now.
Again, The offense puts the pressure right back on the defense here because Kahari Jones has had a hot hand, and he's got 1:46 to work with here. Jones near side. Looking for Arlen Bruce.
You know, overall, Dave Ritchie has to be very happy with what he sees. He sees a defensive line that really is controlling the running game. Michael Jenkins does have some good yards, but nothing big, nothing like a 40 or 50-yard run. And he sees his offense that is executing whatever the Winnipeg Blue Bombers did in training camp. It's worked because their game against Calgary and their game against Toronto, they're executing football plays.
What the hell are you looking at? But I don't know.
Bruce couldn't bring it in. Nice coverage that time by Wayne Shaw. For the Argonauts, Toronto would still have time with another big defensive play here. Kahari Jones looking deep and wide open far side. He's got his man. It's Howell, number 82. Also a first-year starter for the Blue Bombers. Marcus Howell has 29 yards.
And what I notice now is that Kahari's starting to find all his receivers in different situations. He's found Stiegel, he's found Stoddard. Now you see this play in Howell. Once again, he has time to pump the ball, reload his arms, so to speak, step into the pass. Nice catch. This offense right now, their timing. Rick Warman has the timing between the quarterbacks and the receivers down. Marcus Howell, 25 catches, 259 yards. Boy, 10 yards a catch, that's pretty good.
Limited action last year. Good start tonight for Marcus Howell, 2 for 38, his longest, 23 yards. And so now Kahari Jones has used all his receivers, old and new. A little high that time as he looked for Andre Arlane, who would be the 5th receiver.
Right, and Kahari there is pointing to himself saying, you were wide open, that was on me. That ball was too high for you. Now, you know, I think that's a great sign of a quarterback because there's a quarterback that can step in the huddle. He can accept the fact that he didn't execute the play. Hey, the players know that. They want to hear that. They want that quarterback to take responsibility for his play because all that does, the receiver comes back to the huddle and says, hey, don't worry about Kahari. We're going to make it happen the next play.
So 5 different Bombers have caught footballs from Kahari Jones so far tonight. 2nd and 10 here from the Argonaut 49. Picks up in the coverage down there. Howell was the target. Coverage by Adrian Smith. They got their feet tied up, so no flag comes down. 1:21 on the clock, so there's still time.
Completion average, that's pretty good. Look at those touchdowns, 6 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. That's exactly the way you want it to be, 3-1. That's the ideal statistic for that type of football.
And after he left Winnipeg last year on August the 30th, he beat the Bombers and Kahari Jones, his replacement in Winnipeg, on 2 occasions last year. Bell almost had it intercepted.
Boy, oh boy.
Bolden was coming across.
You know, defensive backs are interesting in the sense that they read different things. Some defensive backs read the entire picture, the offensive line blocking. Some defensive backs read quarterbacks. And I think the ones that read the demeanor, the eyes of the quarterback, get the best break on the football. I mean, there's Jerron Bolden, big 6'2" guy, but it's not the height, it's the reach, it's the arm length. You can have a tall defensive back, and that's great. He can be 200 pounds of physical, but he needs those long arms because the difference between an incompletion and a pass completion is just the length of the defensive back's arms.
6 interceptions in 9 games for Bolden last year. Bell stands in. Alford made the catch, and he's out to the 35, so it'll be a first down Toronto with a minute to go, first half.
Well, first of all, good to see Ted Alford coming back because I thought he had a significant injury to his leg. Once again, it's the crossing pattern. You're trying to isolate guys in space, and there, look at the separation there. I don't know if Harold Nash made a mental error or what the situation is, but for a receiver to be that wide open, usually it's a coverage mistake.
20-yard gain, Argos out at the 35 now. Bell shotgun. Far side on the money, and Alfonso. Browning couldn't hang on.
Kerwin's hurt.
Nash was covering, and Bell is down again.
Yeah.
He didn't make it through the first half last week. Coming in, had a tender ankle. I don't know if that's his problem right now. He took a hammer job down there.
Well, you know, you can talk about Kerwin Bell in terms of his arm strength and the knock on him is lack of mobility, but I'll tell you what, you cannot criticize his toughness. This is a quarterback that is willing to stand in there, and you watch the roll by Inoki Brechterfield on the leg, and with Kerwin Bell's luck, that was probably his bad leg.
Second down, Bell. Almost intercepted and then almost deflected ahead to Browning. Donaldson had it in his mitts. Browning had it bounce off him after going off of another Argonaut receiver.
You know, I see
Alford.
I see Kerwin Bell here, and he's running the offense efficiently. I mean, he's dropping back, he's getting rid of the football in rhythm, he's making good decisions. He's going deep and coming back to the shallow patterns, but that's a football that should have been caught. So that is not Kerwin Bell's fault. That is the receiver's fault.
Did you see Browning?
Yeah, I know.
His shot at it, too.
I had a shot, too.
Schillingford dropped one earlier on a key sequence. So now with 36 seconds to go, the Argos give it back to the Bombers, and Winnipeg might be able to do something with what's left on the clock with a decent return here. Well, just 27 seconds to go on Coleman's return. Gotta like this Kahari Jones.
Oh, yeah.
How confident he has played.
Well, you
17.
John, you hit the word right there, confident. There's no position in football where you want to maintain confidence more than at the quarterback position. And you know, it's kind of like what comes first, the experience of success, which gives you confidence as a quarterback, or is it the fact you're thrown into the fire, you make some mistakes, you learn from those mistakes, and then you have success. With Kahari Jones, it's a little bit of both.
Toronto last 5 possessions, 4 punts and the interception that cost them the final 3 points. Given up to Winnipeg here. 25 seconds to go. Bombers keep it on the ground with Blunt.
Well, going into halftime, Winnipeg has to be pretty happy with a couple phases of their football team. They really haven't given up much in terms of big plays. They've executed well on offense. And then defensively, it seems every time that the Argonauts get a little confidence, somebody on the Bomber defense shuts them down.
Gain of 4, 2nd and 6. Jones gets pressured and he's hammered to the turf. Wrapped up by Tyrone Rogers.
Well, great play by Tyrone Rogers. You look at him as an athlete, he has great low leverage. He has very good leg drive, but he's at the tackle position and he makes a nice finesse move.
Yeah, but the sack comes just that little bit too late. Previous sequence, you forced them into a kicking situation earlier, and you've got some time. Now I'm looking at 9 seconds on the clock.
And that's a good point, because the most important thing from a defensive lineman's perspective is the moment he separates from that offensive lineman, he has to accelerate to that quarterback because you just don't have much time. Things happen so fast, and that little sack, if it come earlier in the drive, would have set up a better field position opportunity for the Argos.
Nice first half, Kahari. Very definitely so.
Yep.
Cameron had one go off the side of his foot earlier as Smith waits for the Argonauts back near the 30. He hammered this one. Nash wrapped him up, and zeros are on the clock. No penalty.
It's not where you're drafted, it's what you do after you get there, Dave.
If you want to get to a ballpark and watch a little football for yourself, here are the phone numbers to call right across the CFL in the East and the West. We are at the half on Wendy's Friday Night Football.
Feeling.
How much more Canadian can you get? You could get exclusive gear from Roots in one of 5 specially marked cases of Molson Canadian. Must be of legal drinking age, no purchase necessary. Get into your Canadian Roots.
That sweet taste comes from Honey and Nuts and the goodness of Cheerios. Honey Nut Cheerios.
This day in the CFL.
July 13th, 2000, Henry Burris and the Rough Riders travel to BC to take on the Lions, and Saskatchewan looks good early as Burris connects with veteran slot back Eric Gulliver to make it 14-10 Green Riders. But that's when Damon Allen shows them how it's done. The veteran QB airs out a beauty, a bomb to Michael Adams, and the Lions start their season 2-0 with a tight 30-28 victory.
And we'll hand out the Adidas game ball.
This day in the CFL, brought to you by Dodge. For power, payload, and big rig styling, nothing beats a Dodge truck.
Week number 2 in the CFL began last night, and we had two very lopsided ball games. Mike Pringle ran all over the Calgary Stampeders as the Alouettes improved to 2-0, and the BC Lions lost big in Hamilton. Paul Osbaldiston had another big game, but Eric Tillman, you were at Ivor Wynn last night, and there was another guy who had a pretty big game for the Tiger Cats as well.
Yeah, a guy named Joe Montford.
Oh, yeah.
He was just absolutely dominant in the game. You know, I've been associated with this league for 11 years, and I've never seen a defensive player have the impact this guy had. Just tremendous athletic skills. You see him here on the interception. He had a fumble recovery later in the game, sacks, pressures, just a dominant performance. You know, we're in an offensive-minded league, and we have a tendency when we're thinking about most outstanding player to talk about guys like Dave Dickinson and Mike Pringle in the past. I'll tell you what, if Joe Montford continues to play at that level, he should be mentioned as a possible candidate for most outstanding player, Dave.
And BC had problems with long snapping last week in their home opener against Edmonton, and apparently it was a problem again last night.
Absolutely atrocious. I mean, it just broke down any chance they had for success. And I really feel sorry for Jason Kralt, the young man that's been put in this situation. He struggled with his deep snaps. That is not a position for on-the-job training. You need a veteran, established guy. I think clearly the Lions made a mistake by releasing Roger Ryanson. Adam Reed has done a lot of positive things out there. I think he needs to do another one, find a deep snapper that can be consistent and take the pressure off this young man.
And of course, the other story developing here in week 2, the Calgary Stampeders starting off the season 0-2, and they will be in Edmonton next week. Speaking of Edmonton and Commonwealth Stadium, that is where we are going to go tonight for the second half of the doubleheader. Danny Barrett and the Riders are in town on Wendy's Friday Night Football. More coming up right after this.
Excuse me? Dude, wake up. Hello? Yoo-hoo! Dude!
Just a reminder, Wendy's pickup window's open late, so you can get anything on the menu made fresh.
We get something?
And eat great, even late.
This is so
cool. Loaded with lots of stuff. Totally fun to drive. All at a sweet 179 beans a month.
Our Elantra is not only the coolest looking sedan around. At $199 a month, it's nothing to sweat about.
Finding a car that spoils me with the kind of stuff you normally find on expensive cars, now that's cool.
Right now, get a cool summer deal on a new Hyundai. Cool.
Well, I was in the neighborhood first, and Dave came up to see how I did get such a good lawn.
I went over and I peeked into his tool shed, and he was using turf builder.
Dave's secret is to follow whatever I do. Any spot you look is nice and green and thick.
With last year's drought, our lawn still came right back because we had good root structure.
I would never consider using anything other than Scott's.
I have the best lawn in the neighborhood.
I think Brad has some nice spots on his lawn, but I think overall I have a better lawn.
It's being the guy with the ball. It's being the only girl out there.
It's finally making a play that you've never made before.
It's being scared and playing like you're not.
It's running as fast as you can. It's getting dirty.
It's having guts.
It's never wanting to stop. Never wanting to stop.
It's having fun. Ah!
It's getting better.
It's playing with your friends.
It's teamwork. It's winning the big one. Gatorade. Gatorade.
Gatorade.
Is it in you?
This is the code. This is the way of life.
The very best in the whole entire
WWF Raw is war. See it. Live it. TSN.
Here are a look at the halftime numbers brought to you by Dodge. For a while there, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers were scoring at will, and you can see the net yards certainly reflect that, but the Argonauts, as mentioned, have kept it close enough where this is a ball game. John Liu spoke with Bombers head coach Dave Ritchie.
Well, Coach, good results on both sides of the ball. How close did you come to executing the game plan to perfection?
Pretty close, but we should have had a couple of touchdowns down here, and we wouldn't even be concerned about the score, to be very honest. We had the interception, take it down here. We come out with 3. We hit the goalpost on a field goal, and we're just keeping them in the game.
Coach, is there a little extra incentive for the guys, considering that the Bombers haven't won at Skydome in 6 years? They looked really fired up today.
Well, I hope they come out fired up every game. We came out fired up a lot last year, too, so we just have to win the football game.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Best of luck in the second half.
He's a beauty. He is an absolute beauty.
He's also a winner.
Yeah, that's right. What to look for in the second half?
Well, I think from Toronto's standpoint, what they've got to do is catch the football more consistently. I mean, Kerwin Bell, something like 11 of 16, 11 of 18 in the first half, but they've had too many drops. The Canadian Football League, with only 3 downs, is hard enough if you catch the ball. If you drop it, you absolutely kill drives and kill any success you have for getting back in the game, Dave.
And by the way, Kahari Jones, 12 of 17 in this ball game. You factor in those numbers with last week. He's 73% so far to start the season. That is pretty solid. There's one of his main targets, Milt Stegall, and the Bombers back in action. Second half coming right up.
Why buy vitamin D when the sun's giving it away for free? Accept it. You belong outside.
Izzy, what you doing?
Fries?
You made
home fries.
crispy. Tender. You went out.
You said you wouldn't.
I didn't.
So where'd you go?
Don't ask.
I bet it's that new place, Mom.
Wasn't.
Discover McCain Home Fries. Real deep fried taste from your oven.
I think you should stay home more often.
Me too.
It's made for rust, and it's made to last. It's bright and new because it dries so fast. So what's going on?
It's Trim-Clad.
It keeps walls and walkways attractive and neat. It's the perfect paint to cover concrete. So what's going on?
It's Trim-Clad.
To completely revive a great old door, spray on hammered or brilliant silver decor. So what's going on?
It's Trim-Clad.
Fast dry concrete, hammered and metallic. New paints from a trusted old friend. Trim-Clad. It's what's going on.
3, 2, 1. We are officially open for business.
Facing a virtual reality? UPS can help you plan for it, manage it, and deal with it. We deliver more shipments worldwide than anyone. UPS, moving at the speed of your business.
Welcome to TSN Tonight. I'm Dan Pollard. Hope you're enjoying the football game. It was Beijing winning the 2008 Olympic Games. A lot of Canadians over there for our bid, including Ontario Premier Mike Harris, who admitted he was disappointed.
I want to congratulate all the bid cities. I think they contributed to make this new process in the IOC decision difficult. We're really disappointed, quite frankly, and I don't mind telling the people of Canada that, and Ontario that, of Toronto that. While we are disappointed, we can't forget what we've accomplished.
Baseball scores for you. Blue Jays with a 2-0 lead over the Phillies in the bottom of the 7th. Montreal with a 4-2 lead over Tampa. That game in the top of the 6th. Florida 5-0 over the Yankees, top of the 5th. Manny Ramirez a solo shot. Boston with a 1-0 lead over the Mets. Let's head back to Skydome for second half action between the Argos and the Bombers.
Ready for the second half. What might have been for Kerwin Bell and the Argonauts in the first half. A few too many miscues. Yep. Bell still put up some numbers, however. Here's how the coach looks at it. He's standing by with John Liu.
Well, Coach, can you tell us just how severe was that hit that Kerwin took to his already injured ankle?
Yeah, he got a pretty good bang, and unfortunately we think it's on the other ankle.
the other ankle. Well, how long can we expect to see him still in the game now that he's been banged up on both sides?
As long as he can go, he'll stay.
Encouraging signs from the first half, Coach?
You know, we're doing little things. They scored all 20 points on miscues. We lost contain one time. We had a turnover another time. We lost man-to-man coverage another time. And so we're just hurting ourselves. Yes, we're doing some encouraging things, but we got to learn to play winning football.
Thank you, Coach.
Kickoff in the second half is underway. Returning for Winnipeg, Charles Roberts. Nice seam opens up, and Roberts has great speed. Dragged down inside the 45-yard line of the Argonauts, a 49-yard return.
Well, if you're going to have success in football, you got to identify young talent, put them in a position where they can perform. Charles Roberts is the kick return specialist for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and it makes all the difference in the world because it is hard to sustain drives. The shorter the field you have, the easier it is to score points. Charles Roberts is an excellent returner for this football team.
That's a huge setup for the Bombers to begin this second half. Almost 50 yards on the return, and look where the Bombers begin. At the Toronto 42, Kahari Jones right to work, had an open man. Stiegel made the catch, and he was wrapped up by Marcelo Simmons after a gain of about 5.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how Toronto reacts. I mean, you're down 20-7, but that is by no means an insurmountable amount of points to come back from. They have got to get a little bit more emotionally into this game.
Stiegel's third catch, he has 33 yards, second down. Winnipeg, 7 necessary for a first down. Jones gets some heat, put it up. 10th for the interception, and Smith couldn't bring it down. Adrian Smith wanting a call going back the other way on interference. It's not going to happen.
You know, one thing that Kahari Jones has done very well is he has not turned over the football. You look at a quarterback, and as much as his responsibility is to make plays, an equal amount is to protect the football. And I think that's where Kahari has really advanced as a quarterback, is in those decisions to get rid of the hey, that isn't pretty. That's an incomplete pass, but it's not an interception.
Westwood rung one off the post earlier, connected from 48 and 13. This will be spotted at the 45. And Westwood has another one. The Bombers have another 3 points.
And they got it fast.
Yeah, on first possession. Again, Bombers scored on their first 3 possessions first half.
I know. And you look at the phases of football, that special teams is just an indication that in terms of preparation, this Bomber team is right on. When you start blocking well in terms of kickoff returns, I mean, that's a timing issue. That's something you practice all the time, and it means all the second-level players, the secondary players, are doing a good job of executing their primary occupation, which is special teams. You see Coach Ritchie there with Les Brown, and I don't know which one of these guys calls the defense. I couldn't get Coach Ritchie to tell me, but I think it's a combination of both of them. It's like by committee, but you know what? It's effective.
Argonauts try and respond, beginning at the 35 after the Bomber field goal. Bell with 2 bad ankles has Ted Alford. Nash made the tackle. The gain is 28, and that's what the Argos need. A couple of big plays. They're not out of this thing yet at 23-7.
Not at all, but this is where the strength of Kerwin Bell is really shown, because they brought a lot of secondary people. You see Tommy Europe, free safety, coming right in the face of Kerwin Bell. He's able to stay calm, deliver the football. Nice catch by Ted Alford.
Close to a 30-yard gain, setting the Argos up. At the Winnipeg 48. Nicely underway, second half. Perfect night for it at Skydome. Bell again. He has Mitchell, and Cookie Mitchell is inside the 20.
Well, I don't know what happened at halftime, but they seem to be able to find some seams, some matchups that they've been able to take advantage of. Daryl Mitchell is the one guy you try to get the football to as much as you can because of his ability to run after he catches the football. Here he adjusts to the ball in flight. Nice catch going backwards. That is a great football play, a great adjustment by Daryl Mitchell.
Couple of big gains for Alford and Mitchell. Mitchell has 29. And the Argos are inside the Bomber 20. The This is Alford. Tried to turn it around and actually lost a yard after making the catch. Wrapped up by the veteran Marv Coleman.
Now you would look at Kerwin Bell there. He's limping on that ankle.
How do you know he's what ankle he's limping on? Is what I want to know.
I'm not sure. I limp naturally, so that's just the way I am. Maybe it's his left or it's right. I can't really identify which ankle, but he's not walking properly. I can tell you that.
Well, as Pinball told us at halftime, and not to make a joke of it, it was the left ankle coming into the game, and he's hurt the right ankle now.
Yeah.
But he's moved the team effectively. Until there, looking for Mitchell.
You see, here's the thing,
or rather
though,
Jenkins.
John, if the quarterback is injured, like if he has a leg injury, it really affects his throwing motion because a lot of good passes come from the bottom part of your body, your ability to set your feet strong and hard, rotate your hips, rotate your hand above your head. So if Kerwin Bell's ankles are bothering him, it's going to affect the way he throws the football in terms of accuracy, in terms of velocity, in terms of consistency.
Well, he had the right play called there.
Sure did. He was wide open, but he couldn't get it right over that defender. Just a little bit more of a touch pass, that would have been a touchdown. Once again, though, John Jenkins' offense, 2 or 3 great plays, then it stalls.
61-yard drive will hopefully end in a Marini field goal for the Argonauts. He's got that one, so the Argos crawl a little closer, but they've already given up 3 to the Bombers here in the second half.
Play Safeway's $1 Million Touchdown to win. Shop and swipe your club card for automatic $1 Million entry. If your name appears, you've won the innovative VillaShave Quadra Action Shaver, featuring an improved contour following system and patented lift and cut technology for convenience, closeness, and comfort. Or a 20 CD prize pack from CD Plus and AVE Entertainment, featuring One Love, the very best of Bob Marley and the Wailers, and the double CD compilation Music of the Millennium. Shop and swipe at Safeway for your chance to win $1 million.
From coast to coast for close to 70 years, after decades of testing and billions of kilometers on the road, the Gunk family of automotive products has continued to stand tall through many generations. From lubricants to sealants to cleaners to performance additives. And through it all, we've managed to withstand the harshest test of all, the test of time. Trusted by Canadians since 1931. Available everywhere, including Canadian Tire, UAP Napa Auto Parts, and Pro Hardware stores.
Right now, inside specially marked Molson get-together packs with 12 Coors Light and 12 Canadian, you'll find a Coors Light t-shirt. Collect all 6. Got your get-together pack? No purchase necessary. Must be legal drinking age.
The Toronto Sun, #1 in sports. Argo fans, join the Sun at the next Argo home game. For tickets, call 416-489-ARGO. The Toronto Sun. You live sports, so do we.
Back live at Skydome, it's Wendy's Friday Night Football. Stampeder, Marvin Coleman returning for the Bombers. He stumbles across the 40 to the 43, and again, Winnipeg ends up with pretty good field position.
Well, they really do. I mean, anytime you can get the ball past the 35, that is a successful kickoff return. And all these plays, all these special team plays are charted, and they know which situations give them the best advantage to return kicks. I thought that was smart by Toronto to kick to the sidelines so it would disrupt the blocking of the return team.
Bombers on offense again. Arlen Bruce, the third. Flanks to the near side. Marcus Howell, far side of the field. 2 in the backfield. Troy Mills, 15 carries, 84 yards last week, wrapped up by Alfred Payton.
Boy, if Alfred Payton didn't get him, Troy Mills would probably still be running down the sidelines. Really a lower leg tackle, but Alfred read the play extremely well. He comes upfield, he reads the language of the offensive tackle, slides inside, and then makes that desperation tackle. Nice play by Alfred Payton.
Payton 5 tackles last week and a couple of sacks. fitting in nicely with his Argonaut defense. The strength of this team in Toronto so far. Harry Jones is the strength of the Blue Bombers. This one is up for grabs. And Bruce comes down with it. Boy, oh boy. Marcelo Simmons was covering, and flags go down.
But still, it was a good play because Harry Jones had confidence in his receivers. He was throwing to a spot. He said, okay, receiver, you earn your money. You go up and get that football. Nice job by Arlen Bruce. Hey, when the ball's in the air, then it becomes a fight. It becomes a fight between that receiver and that defensive back. You time the jump, and the guy who is the tallest or fights the hardest wins the battle.
And that was really a jump ball there.
It was a jump ball.
Flag down back at the line as well. So there's 2 penalties down there. They'll repeat the down.
Offsetting penalties, I don't understand it. There's no purpose behind an offsetting penalty. It's just kind of like you're wasting time.
Well, the first one was against the Bombers, and the second one against Marcelo Simmons for his reaction after the catch. There's Rick Warman, ex-Stampeder, Saskatchewan Roughrider quarterback, who's the offensive coordinator for Dave Ritchie this year. What we have here is 2nd and 7. Bombers at the Winnipeg 45. Time for Harry Jones, and target 2. Well, Stiegel made the catch and held on.
Nice catch.
Just a great catch. Steinauer hammered him after he made the reception, but Stiegel didn't feel a thing after picking up 15 yards.
You know, once you catch that football, the adrenaline is so high, you can take a shot like that and you don't really feel it till the next day. Beautiful catch by Stiegel, extending his hands, and also a nice play by Steinauer. You watch the pressure from the Toronto Argonauts, and what they said is they're going to get to the quarterback, but really has plenty of time, Harry Jones, to step into the throw. Not a good pass rush.
1st and 10 from the 49. Troy Mills has better than 5, maybe 7 yards, depending on exactly where they spot the ball. Elford Payton made the tackle.
And you can see the Bombers have such a nice rhythm in their offense. They throw some deep passes, they throw the intermediate, but they never abandon the run. The run is the foundation of offensive success. I really don't care what league it is, because it's aggressive. It is your running back running with the football. It gets him into the game, it gets your offensive lineman in the game, and it gives the quarterback a break, because all he has to do is hand it off and get the heck out of the way.
Mills was down, so it's a gain of just 5, 2nd and 5 at the Argo 44. Halfway through quarter 3. Harry Jones will put it up. He gets a chance, loose ball, Argo opportunity. Another Argo opportunity, and finally recovered by Tyrone Rogers.
Well, this is what the Argonauts needed. They needed to create a turnover, and it's whether it's Kahari Jones not protecting the football or whether it's the pass rush, it doesn't matter. You see Jones take the football. He's looking through. He takes the football. He's going to come right here. Panics a little bit. Watch his right arm right there.
He ran into Dave Mudd.
Sure did. An own offensive tackle. We were talking about how he needs to protect the football. He didn't in that instance.
So here's the Argonauts' chance to get right back into the ballgame. Points here, and Toronto is back in. 8:07 to go, three-quarter time, 23-10. Winnipeg with the lead. Heat on Bell, he escapes, just got it away. Jenkins turns it into a first down. That's Michael Jenkins. Tommy Europe, the Bombers' safety, made the tackle, and Bell, running on both angles, is getting the job done at times.
I mean, there is a question here is how much punishment can Kerwin Bell take, not only in this specific game, but throughout the year. You can see his body absorbs the full impact of the tackle by Anoki Brechterfield. You can't have those type of hits on your quarterback at any level of consistency. Eventually, something's going to give. It'll be a part of his body.
Argonaut first down. Jenkins wrapped up in the backfield. Slowed down by one and then hammered to the turf by McGriggs.
Yeah. Lamar McGriggs, I'll tell you, if there is a smoother running athlete right now than Lamar McGriggs right there, I don't know where it is, because he has that ability to accelerate. He knows the league. He understands the blocking patterns. He's a good football player. This is his first start
He missed last week.
Yeah, first time he's seen live action.
Forces the Argos into 2nd and 16. McGreg's made the play. Completion, but well short of the first down. Mitchell made the catch. Bolden the tackle.
Yep.
And the Argonauts, after the turnover, will be forced to kick it away. No points possible here.
Well, a lot of times you don't necessarily have to disrupt the play, but you have to come up and make a very secure tackle, and that's Gerard Bolden. I mean, he was juggling it for a moment, but Gerard Bolden is the type of athlete that is going to be able to react to this play extremely fast.
Well, the big play was actually made by McGreg's, though, when you look at it, because he forced Toronto out of field goal range.
That's correct.
Coleman on the return out to the 25. So one opportunity slips away from the Argos, but there's a long way to go on Wendy's Friday Night Football.
This is so cool. Loaded with lots of stuff. Totally fun to drive. All at a sweet 179 beans a month.
Our Elantra is not only the coolest looking sedan around. At $199 a month, it's nothing to sweat about. Cool.
Cool. Right now, get a cool summer deal on a new Hyundai. Cool.
Hey, wait, hey, whoa, hey. You just couldn't wait till you got to the top, could you?
There's no resisting. Tim Hortons Ice Cap. It's creamy, smooth, and deep down cool. What are you waiting for?
Next time, use the drive-thru.
It's times like this, you're really glad you have a State Farm agent. And State Farm's National Catastrophe Team, there at your side. Uniquely trained professionals who are on the scene, often in less than 24 hours. Working with our agents and local personnel to keep our good neighbor promise, providing the best service under the worst of conditions. Spending weeks, even months away from their own homes, all just to get you back in yours.
Friday night at the Sky Dome, and an entertaining evening for Argo fans who wait for their team to get rolling along. We'll be here next Friday night as well. So tickets are still available for the Ticats and the Argos. There's the number to call.
That's always a rivalry whenever Hamilton and Toronto play. It kind of evens out the football game. The Ticats had a big win over BC. Danny McManus picked on those young cornerbacks of the BC Lions very effectively.
Bombers have the ball back at the 25. 1st and 10 for Kahari Jones. 5 receiver set. Blunt's got the call. You like this combination, Troy Mills and Eric Blunt in rotation?
I really do. I think it's like anything else in football that you try to pair up people with different athletic abilities. You can't have really the same type of receivers, the same type of running backs, because the different type of athlete gives the defense a different look. You watch Kahari Jones here. He hands off to Eric Blunt. There's nothing there. Great backside pursuit by Alfred Payton. But still, nice balanced offense using both of your running backs.
Not a bad block by Wade Miller and
my buddy
O'Shea. Gain of 1, 2nd and 9. So Jones will put it up. He can't. Huge pressure from Alfred Payton to get the ball right back for the Argonauts. This guy is playing a whale of a game again tonight.
Well, he really is. I mean, Alfred Payton is a veteran on this football team. He has probably seen everything you could possibly see in the Canadian Football League. Here he is unblocked. I don't know if it was a mental mistake on the front, but Alfred Payton did a great job of timing his jump, seeing that quarterback, looking at the release point, and then timing his jump based on what he sees visually.
Payton was a Blue Bomber a year ago.
Yep.
Cameron's kick. Adrian Smith lost it. He better hope it rolls out of bounds.
Very good return, yeah.
Not a bad return when you do it that way. It's a little more dangerous.
Well, you know, at Adrian Smith's point in his career, I'm not saying that he can't be a great punt returner, but it would be nice at this point of his career he could concentrate on being a cornerback, a defensive back. Hey, returning kicks is for young guys. Young guys don't mind taking the punishment. You know, so find a young guy, put him in there, sacrifice his body in returning kicks. Not Adrian Smith. He's a class act. He's the longest surviving Argo. Nobody on this team has played more games than Adrian Smith, but I don't know if he should be a primary punt returner. I'm not saying he can't do it. I'm just saying there should be somebody else out there that can return kicks effectively for this team.
Well, they're not going to give Smith quite that yardage there, just because he advanced it off a kick or off his knee. Argos will be in decent shape beginning at the 53. Kerwin Bell as Alford turns the corner, but a flag comes down in the Argonaut backfield.
And it probably is a hold. It was an empty backfield, so all you have up front is one-on-one. Left tackle against right defensive end. Right tackle against left defensive end all the way around the line. That's the hardest thing to do.
Number 69, first down repeated.
See, that really hurts.
Right here, the right guard Gilbert was the offender. Right there. And he's new to this league. He doesn't necessarily know all the techniques involved, and he doesn't know the personnel. Nice arm under move by Dennis Fortney. And that is a hard one to stop because it's a leverage position. You don't want to release him because you're afraid about that late hit on the quarterback.
Kerwin Bell 5 of 6 this half for 76 yards. And a field goal. Far side, and the hit made instantaneously on Andre Kerwin.
Nice hit, too. I mean, that's how you play a defensive backfield. If that receiver is going to catch that football, I mean, Donaldson comes up and he rocks him. And don't think for a minute that receiver's not going to remember that play. I mean, he's going to, next time he's on the sidelines, he's going to be thinking about the fact that the previous play, he got hit. 2 of them.
He got 2 times.
2 of them.
Raphael Ball along with Dave Donaldson.
Yeah.
Second and 11. Here's Mitchell. Another flag is down, and Mitchell is about a yard shy of the first down, wrapped up by Duran Bolden.
Kerwin Bell took another shot on the play, and this one was a little bit late. They could have called an unnecessary hit on the quarterback.
Well, the penalty flag is back there in the Winnipeg secondary. There's an injured player down in the area as well.
Oh, he's laughing it off. Look at Kerwin. He's like, you're not going to hurt me. Don't worry about it. I've seen harder hits than that. I tell you, the guy's got a lot of courage about him. He's going to sit in there and he's going to release that football knowing he's going to take a shot. I don't know, Kerwin. I'd walk up to that referee and say, would you mind watching that a little bit closer, please? You watch him on the play out of the shotgun position, and Dwayne Morgan, probably the best offensive lineman the Argonauts have. His feet were not in proper position, and you see the shot to Kerwin Bell.
Doug Hocking, number 38, came roaring through.
You know, one thing interesting about this Bomber team as we watch Gerard Bolden go off the football field is they lost Stephon O'Reilly, one of their top defensive ends and a starter. So what do? They start rotating people. Doug Hocking plays, Julian Peterson plays, Wayne Weathers plays. And by doing that, they're fresh. Now, that really doesn't affect the football team as much in the first and the second quarter.
Contact on the receiver. Winnipeg number. Second down.
But by the fourth quarter, if you're an offensive lineman, you keep seeing new faces in front of you. That becomes an athletic challenge. And the 2 tackles, in particular, Juan Roquet, in the game against Montreal, he had a hard time in the sense by the fourth quarter, he was adjusting to the pace of the game.
Infraction of the Bombers secondary, illegal contact. So the Argos are sitting. Looking at second down, a yard to go at the Winnipeg 52. Bell will put it up. And there was contact down there.
Yeah.
But no call.
Well, I think Harold Nash got away with one, John.
Yeah, there's a little sweater pull down there.
It really is.
Slowed everything down. It might have been Nash on Browning.
Yeah. Well, 2nd-1 situation, they end up throwing deep. Shows the urgency they feel that they have to score some points, and you can kind of see Daryl Mitchell, his stride gets disrupted, and you don't see Harold Nash's hands. He's just grabbing that jersey a little bit and saying, Daryl, don't run away from me so fast. I respect your speed. I'm going to hold you into my body so you don't run away from me.
So now the Argos go gambling on 3rd and 1 at the Winnipeg 47.
Got it.
A little early movement moment there on Harold Nash. Almost took the snap.
Yeah.
From Sandy Annunziata.
Yeah. But then again, I mean, Harold Nash is trying to make a play. He's not even in our picture right now. He's going to come up.
Winnipeg, 0-0. First down.
I think I could have called that one. Well, you look at the bottom right of your picture, way over, I'm sorry, bottom left of your picture. There comes Harold, bottom right of your picture. He was on a mission. He was on a mission. He just started that mission a little bit too early.
Actually, it wasn't quite the snap, but he almost got the handoff. If you look at Bell again.
He wanted to play some offense.
Toronto first down. Just over 3 minutes to go. In quarter three, Argos lead at 13, 23-10.
You know, last year, a lot of teams ran on Winnipeg. They weren't physical up front, and we've talked a lot about Doug Brown and what he means to this football team, and Denny Fortenay and what he means on the football team. And it's not just that these are big guys on the line of scrimmage. These are guys that are 290 pounds, that are athletic, that have good technique, that have come from good football schools. And those two tackles right now mean a lot to the fundamentals of defense for this team.
Just 1 yard for Jenkins, previous play. Shotgun for Bell here on 2nd and 9. He's got his target. He's got Mitchell inside the 15, down to about the 12-yard line. Well, 30 yards, Bell to Darren Mitchell.
That is vintage Daryl Mitchell. Quarterback hits him in stride. He accepts that football, and he makes a big play. He is a smooth running athlete. It looks like he's gliding. It doesn't look like there's any stress in his movement, in his hips, in his legs. He's a hard guy to cover because he's deceptive. He doesn't look like he's running that fast until he runs right by you. Then you turn around and say, man, you're pretty quick.
6th dash for Daryl Mitchell. 1st and 10 for the Argonauts at the Winnipeg 12. Less than 2 to go. To three-quarter time. Jenkins away from one and away from another. 2 nice spin moves by Michael Jenkins.
Michael Jenkins really gets graded on how many people he misses. The quarterback coach, Paul LaPolice of the Toronto Argonauts, he charts how many people Michael Jenkins misses in space. There's one. There's another beautiful spin move. That might have been the 3rd one. He's going to fight for that 3rd one. But he gets charted on the number of people he misses. He had 5 last game.
2-on-1 play there, or else the Argonauts would be looking at 2nd and 10 instead of 2nd and 6. So Jenkins got 4 yards, spinning away. End zone toss. Here's Mitchell. Couldn't get a hand on it. And a marker down in the Argonaut backfield. Penalty coming up, and Daryl Mitchell is just overthrown. I'm thinking it's against Toronto, likely holding.
But one of the hardest things to do is complete passes.
Holding,
the closer.
Toronto, number 69, declined.
Gilbert again. Well, he's making the adjustment to the CFL. One of the hardest things to do for a young football player who comes from an American style to the Canadian style is to work with that yard off the field. You have a tendency to be overly aggressive. What you have to do is be patient. It's that extra second where you make that defensive lineman commit on his move, then you become physical. He's going through that transition period. You see Michael Clemens there. He realizes the urgency of this game. Michael is a smart young man. He knows that this, in a way, is a must-win because of the home field advantage.
Some are booing the Argos' decision here to go for a field goal, but there's really no choice but to send in Jacob Marini. It's 3rd down and 6 yards to go, and it's way too early to hand this thing over to the Bombers. Marini makes it, and the Argos claw back with a minute to go in the 3rd quarter.
Play $1 million touchdown to win at Safeway. If your name appears, you've won an all-inclusive trip for 2 to the Club Marival Resort in Nueva Vallarta, Mexico. Fly Air Transat for a 7-night stay, courtesy of Sears Travel Service and Air Transat Holidays. Shop at Safeway today.
Remember, Wendy's pickup windows open late so you can eat great even late.
See you later.
Prostatonin Dietary Supplement. Available where quality dietary supplements are sold.
Can anybody find me somebody to love? He works hard every day of my life. I work till I ache my bones.
At Speedy Auto Service, we know mufflers, and right now save 20% on our quality professional fit mufflers.
Somebody, ooh, somebody. Can anybody find me somebody to love?
Monday night, it's a welterweight war on TSN. Mickey Ward takes on Emmanuel Burton. Ward versus Burton, Monday on TSN.
Play Safeway's $1 Million Touchdown to Win. Shop and swipe your club card and receive a bonus entry when you purchase Bick's Pickles, McCain Rising Crust Pizza single servings, or Campbell's Ready to Serve soups. Play $1 Million Touchdown to Win at Safeway today.
Rough Riders got by Hamilton last week. The Eskimos lost to the Lions in overtime. That's the matchup. Second half of our Wendy's Friday night football doubleheader coming your way with Glenn Suter and Matthew Dunnigan from Commonwealth in Edmonton.
And Glenn Suter will be doing the play-by-play. Matt Dunnigan will be making the commentary. Do you have any advice to
Matt Dunnigan?
Young Suter.
I've got advice for Dunnigan. Keep your head up.
Yeah.
Left arm straight and follow through. Into the final minutes. Third quarter. And again, the Bombers come away with good special teams play on a return by Coleman of 18 yards. He should have been stopped, well, 17 yards sooner because he was surrounded. And all of a sudden, Winnipeg's got that field position again.
Great starting point for a drive, so important in the Canadian Football League, and he's kind of becoming a skier here. He's going to go in, he's going to weave out, he's going to go in, he's going to weave out. Great vision and also great effort. I mean, at any moment now, he could have been satisfied with the play. No, he's going to get the most he can get on this particular return.
Did you slalom?
And you know not even
your day?
Close.
From the Winnipeg 50. Jones is cornered back there, wrapped up and tossed to the turf by Alfred Payton. Another great game for Payton, who's been around a while.
Yes, he has.
11 seasons in the Canadian Football League, and he looks fresh as a daisy out there tonight again.
Well, here's the thing. Alfred Payton knows the Canadian Football League. He knows what's going to happen, how quarterbacks move, and he knows blocking patterns. He's been waiting for this opportunity all night. He had one eye on the dive play towards the line of scrimmage, the other eye on the quarterback, and he trusted the right eye.
Second sack by the Argos, and it's time to take advantage of one here because they've got the Bombers in 2nd and 17. Don't let Jones escape, and they won't this time. So the Argos will get it back and should have decent field position on the exchange. Final play, third quarter. Long way to go tonight from Skydome. A perfect night for it. It's the Bombers leading the Argos by 10.
Wendy's Friday Night Football at the quarter.
And welcome back inside the CFL Live studios. Dave Randorf with you once again with Eric Tillman. The Blue Bombers, Eric, have not made many mistakes in terms of turnovers. In fact, they've only made one, and it was good, aggressive defense by the Argos that caused the mistake.
Yeah, you know, sometimes a football game has some obscure plays that ultimately factor into the end result, and we saw one in that quarter. If you watch this play closely, when Kahari Jones fumbles the ball, watch number 91, Tyrone Rogers. He gets on the ball. He doesn't try to be a hero and pick it up and run it. So often you'll see young guys trying to be heroes. They want to scoop the ball up, try to advance it. They end up bobbling it, and the offense retains possession. That change of possession at midfield ultimately led to an Argo field goal, and that field goal could be the difference.
Yeah, but they need touchdowns. And the facts are they've only scored one touchdown now in 7 quarters of play so far this season. That's not enough. So the Bombers take a 10-point lead into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and they're 15 minutes away from going 2-0 on the road. If they do that, a tremendous, tremendous accomplishment for Dave Ritchie and his staff, Dave.
And remember, last week in Calgary, this is when the Bombers really put the pedal down in the fourth quarter. It'll be interesting to see if they can do the same thing. 23-13 as we head back to Skydome for the conclusion of the opener here on Wendy's Friday Night Football. Guys?
I feel like Rusty here looking up to the friendly giant. A quarter to go, and I like Kerwin Bell.
He's done a good job. He's done a good job. He's into the rhythm of the offense. He's identifying receivers. He's delivering the ball, and he's doing it under duress. I mean, both of his legs have been injured to some extent. We'll see how the quarter goes on because, like I said, you literally throw the football from your feet first, then off your hand.
Closer on the scoreboard for the Argonauts, down by 10. It seems like it's been about that advantage for Winnipeg all night. Maybe creeping up a little bit. When you look at the net yards, it's within a yard now, so the Argos still have a shot at this thing.
Well, they even out the turnovers, and I think that was the key issue. Nothing influences a football game more in turnovers. Time of possession is getting closer, but also the passing yards is starting to get closer. We have a football game.
Smith is back. Cameron puts it up. Smith looks for a block, doesn't get it. Wrapped up in a hurry by Donald Ruiz. 6 on the return, 41 on the punt. 1st and 10 Argonauts just outside the Toronto 30.
Well, first drive for the Argonauts in the 4th quarter, and I'm interested to see how they approach this. Still, Michael Jenkins could use the football a little bit. He has been effective at just about every time he's touched the football.
Kerwin Bell favoring both ankles, but getting the job done in 3rd quarter.
He sure is, John.
36 years old, still has a cannon for an arm. Key to the Argonaut offense is pass, 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 and then pass again overall. Swings it out of the backfield for Jenkins. Nice run by Jenkins, and he'll be close to a first down within a yard. Jenkins has good hands. He's a guy that the Argos feel can rush for 1,000 and catch for 1,000 if he plays a full season.
Remember Robert Drummond, 1997, I believe, was the one running back that came so close to being able to rush for 1,000 yards and catch 1,000 yards. Michael Jenkins has those skills, and once again, he made someone miss in space. I mean, tackling is a funny thing in the sense that there are congestion tackles and there are open field tackles, and of the two, it is hard to tackle these guys in open field. You watch their waistline, you watch their chest, your vision is there. But boy, oh boy, when they make those moves, you can't help but bite. And I really think if they can do those little swing passes with any form of consistency, continue to get Jenkins the football, they're going to progress very nicely down the football field.
John Jenkins, the offensive coordinator on the sidelines, has the play called. It's a free one, really, for the Argos when you look at it.
Yes.
Just beginning the 4th quarter. About a half a yard necessary for the first down. So an option or two here. After gaining the first down. You got to like the way Michael Jenkins runs the ball.
Well, I tell you, I would never have anticipated this type of play because of the fact that Kerwin Bell was injured. I would never have thought, well, let's run an option. So Kerwin Bell does that. He takes a little shot. Nice thing out to Mitchell. That was a great play for the most opportune moment. Once again, get the ball to number 27.
5 carries, 33 yards for Jenkins last week. He caught 5 passes for 50. So already 4 carries more tonight. Oh, Alford got one hand on it. Couple of interesting fakes by Bell. And Ted Alford got a hand on it. Well, this might have been catchable. I mean, it would have been a spectacular catch.
But watch this right here. It's a double fake. First, he kind of fakes the shovel pass, then he fakes that, and then he fakes the hitch, and that brought that defensive back up. Ted Alford adjusted the moment that defensive back came to the plate, and he was wide open.
Alford had an opportunity to make a spectacular catch. 2nd and 10. Argos at the 51. Here comes the heat. The Argonauts have dropped way too many passes tonight, and well, Daryl Mitchell doesn't drop many, but that was definitely there.
You know, and that is so frustrating for coaches because coaches know that the details of the game, those moments in a game where you have to make a big catch, they can't control that. I mean, their primary purpose as coaches is to prepare players. Come game day, that's easy time for coaches. Everyone shows up on the stadium and let's go. But it's up to the players to make those individual plays, and it's up to the players to take care of the details of the game. And that is where the Argonauts are just a little bit rusty.
There was an opportunity for another couple of first downs anyway for Toronto on this drive. Instead, McKenzie kicks it away. Coleman moves up for the return. Well covered on special teams. Stopped in his tracks at the 25 by Brad Elber. It's Wendy's Friday Night Football.
Play Safeway's $1 Million Touchdown to Win. Shop and swipe your club card for automatic $1 Million entry. If your name appears, you've won the VTech Helio, VTech's new handheld PDA, in cool metallic and translucent colors, with 8 megabytes of memory, voice memo recorder, scheduler, email, and more. Or the best of Fuller tool set, from Canadian-made screwdrivers to sockets. Fuller has the tools to do the job right every time. Shop and swipe at Safeway for your chance to win $1 million.
Excuse me? Dude, wake up. Hello? Yoo-hoo! Dude!
Just a reminder, Wendy's pickup window's open late, so you can get anything on the menu made fresh.
We get something?
And eat great, even late.
Our guarantee is our promise.
If you're not happy with your glasses, you can bring them back. No questions.
That's what LensCrafter's 30-day money-back guarantee is all about.
SportCheck has kicked off online with SportCheck.ca. The best brands in clothing, footwear, and equipment, such as Nike, Adidas, and Oakley. Click to buy or click to learn about the latest products and trends, featuring how-to-buy guides, checklists, a women's section, and new product releases. Receive Air Miles reward miles with every purchase. Visit SportCheck.ca or the store nearest you. SportCheck is Canada's choice for sporting goods.
Welcome back to Skydome. This game is still on the line, and here's why. When you look at Kahari Jones in the first half, 12 of 17 equals 231 yards. Second half, 2 of 5 for just 20 so far.
Yeah, and give Kavis Reed and give Urban Bowman some credit in the sense that they must have made some significant halftime adjustments because they're kind of taking Kahari Jones' rhythm, taking it out of the game.
However, the Bombers still have the advantage by 10 points at 23-13. Mills, the ball carrier for Winnipeg. Tiggle was there, and he got a little help from Damian Johnson.
And this is where your defense needs to step up, John. I mean, one of the big discussions through the entire offseason and during the season is how veteran this team is. Well, veteran players are at their best in the fourth quarter. They understand tendency. They know whether their opponent is fatigued, and they make plays. I'm looking for one of these veterans to make a big play.
Arlen Bruce III flanks to the near side for Winnipeg on second down and 8 at the Bomber 27. Jones looks to put it up. He's got Bruce, and Bruce will have the first down, hammered to the turf after he made the catch by Steinauer.
Winnipeg's doing a great job of reading the coverage and then adjusting to what they see in terms of the quarterback and the receiver are really on the same page. And this is a nice throw, nice catch. Threw it off his back foot, a high catch. And they give Orlando Steinauer some credit. A very good tackle, because if he didn't make that tackle, that would have been a touchdown.
Kahari Jones has spread it around through all his receivers so far tonight. And he's used 2 running backs effectively. That was Troy Mills.
Still, I like the play, John, because the worst case scenario for an offense is to get into a 2nd and 10 situation. You watch other football teams, you watch the BC Lions. Defensive coordinator Gary Echeverry lives for that. The moment he has a 2nd and 10 situation, he is coming. Now, this is only about a 2nd and 6, but it does open up opportunities that normally wouldn't be there if you didn't get those 4 yards.
14th carry for Mills. He has 41 yards thus far. 2nd and 6. Jones to the near side. What a catch by Arlen Bruce III. He's a raw rookie with the Blue Bombers.
Beautiful catch. And now you compare some of the receivers' catches that the Winnipeg Blue Bombers have made. I mean, right at the bottom of the screen here, you're going to see Arlen Bruce right there. Young football player. Doesn't have a lot of experience, but watch this nice little route. Reads it, separates, and beautiful catch. Extends on the football, catches the end of the football. And in some ways, that's been the difference. The Bomber receivers have made these nice dramatic catches. The Argo receivers have dropped some footballs they should have catched.
Yeah, they should have caught those balls without question, but they've dropped them in critical
times, yes,
for the Argonauts as well. Stoddard in motion. Little drop play for Mills on first down, and it's going nowhere. Looked like O'Shea in the middle of things there, along with Johnny Scott.
Well, this is also a little bit of clock management for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. I mean, we have basically 10 minutes and 15 seconds left in the game. They're going to try to possess this football. The less time you have on the clock, the more urgency you have on the offense of the Argos. If there's too much urgency, it creates a turnover.
2nd and 10, Winnipeg. Just outside the 40 at the 42. Some heat on as Kahari Jones releases, has Stoddard. And another Blue Bomber first down. Stoddard has had a wonderful night. A 68-yard catch set up a touchdown early for Winnipeg, and O'Shea got back to make the tackle there.
You know, the Winnipeg Blue Bomber fans should be very optimistic about this season because there are other wide receiver slot backs out there that have Bomber experience that could be a part of this team shortly. And on defense, they're going to get a linebacker by the name of Ryland Wicklum, who's going to compete for a job. Those who followed it last year, Ryland Wicklum is a very good linebacker.
Stoddard, 5 receptions, 125 yards. He has been the Bomber receiving star tonight. And Kahari Jones goes after him once more. Stoddard was tangled up with Byron Capers.
Argonauts may have gotten away with one, but it's a combination of things that are effective for Kahari Jones. First, he came out and he started extremely well. Overall, he's getting great protection. What does that mean? First, it means you can set your feet. And the second means that you can look at all your receivers. Now, you only look for a split second to your left, split second to your right, then you go for your best opportunity. But it all begins with protection.
Huge play for the Argonaut defense here. They don't want to give up another touchdown. 2nd and 10. Bombers threatening at the 27. Jones in trouble, scrambles out of it, and will take off. He eluded Tiggle and comes up a little. Well, he's got the first down as it looks right now. He made it by a yard.
But just beautiful movement by Kahari Jones. I mean, the pocket collapses after he has gone through his reads, and then as he sprints out of the pocket, he's still looking downfield. Watch his vision, watch his shoulders. He is looking down to complete the pass. Comes to the conclusion instantaneously. Well, there's nothing open. Let's get what I can get. Fast decisions makes yards.
Yeah, he got what he could get, 11 yards.
Yeah.
Just danced out of bounds. Passing, Kahari Jones, 17 of 26, 304 yards and the 1 touchdown so far tonight. And this drive has taken time off the clock as well, down to 8:28. On the stadium clock in Skydome. First down, Jones in trouble for a moment, looks to the end zone, another touchdown. Milt Stegall. And that's what I was saying about the Argonaut defense. They had a chance on 2nd and long a couple of plays ago, couldn't make the play, and here's the touchdown.
Touchdown dance.
All of those receivers have been involved.
You know, and I get into discussions about Matt Dunnigan about this. What is more important, involve everybody or key your guys? Tonight it's Kahari Jones getting all his receivers involved in the game, slides to his right, moves effectively in the pocket, and there's Milt Stegall. Milt Stegall, as we talked about him earlier, great athlete, great runner, great explosive ability, but he also studies football.
29-13. The Bombers are relentless tonight.
Welcome back to TSN Tonight. I'm Dan Pollard. Beijing, China, the winning bidder for the 2008 Olympic Games. Not the only news to tell you about today, though. Raptors also busy sending disgruntled forward Charles Oakley to the Chicago Bulls for a 2002 second-round pick. And the Bulls, Brian Skinner, actually, the pick is part of what the Raptors are sending. Oakley has been quite verbal about his dissatisfaction with the Raptors.
I don't know if it had to happen, but it was something that, you know, Oak had requested that we try and move him on. I think he's happy with the situation in Chicago there, and I'm happy we were able to accommodate his trade request while at the same time giving us a good young player, has a lot of potential.
Colorado Avalanche have re-signed their head coach, Bob Hartley, to a 2-year contract extension, of course, leading the Avs to the Stanley Cup this past season. Philly with a 5-2 lead over the Blue Jays in the top of the 9th, and Montreal 6-2 over Tampa. That is in the top of the 9th. Conclusion of the Bombers and Argos coming up.
Introducing new Gillette Arctic Ice Invisible Solid Antiperspirant. It gives you protection that goes on clear and lasts all day. Arctic Ice Antiperspirant from Gillette.
Full coverage of the British Open begins Thursday on TSN.
Another superb drive for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers results in a touchdown.
Well, just watch Milt Stegall here and watch how he's able to manipulate the defensive backs. He's not sprinting, but this is a long, extended pass pattern. I mean, he's going about 25 yards downfield, and he's going about another 25 yards across the end zone. That takes time to develop. That's hard to cover.
Yeah, here, check out the dance, too.
Yeah.
See?
Oh, boy.
Now look at the new choreographer they've got here. Watch, coming into your picture right about now. That's the new offensive lineman who arrived from Montreal, Mike Sutherland.
Yeah, he put that all together.
Yeah, he very much in charge of the dance.
I thought they'd be a little bit more complicated on that. That was just left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot.
And I remember your days as an Argo when you used to do the end zone dance. Bombers have regained control of this game with a 30-13 lead and 8 minutes to go. Argos need a huge return. They may have it here. Not quite. Cut from behind is Jenkins. 25 on the return. Stegall has the latest Bomber touchdown.
Well, you look at the scoring drive. Look at the time of possession. 4 minutes and 56 seconds. That's a lot in the Canadian Football League. 8 plays, all executed well. A fourth quarter drive. You can have your opening drives and well into the game, but when you put something together like that in the fourth quarter, sign of a good football team.
And prior to that drive, Kahari Jones had not moved the Blue Bombers effectively in the second half.
Correct.
They got it together right on time, and now the Argos are in a deeper hole. 1st and 10, Toronto from the 39. There's the catch, the one they needed. Mitchell made it on a nice toss from Kerwin Bell, who stood in there. 24 yards to Mitchell.
Oh, gorgeous catch.
One a little early.
Yeah, gorgeous catch by Daryl Mitchell. Had to extend his arms. Great protection by both tackles of the Argonauts, riding their defensive ends over. Finds Daryl Mitchell, puts it to a spot where he knows, Kerwin Bell knows that Mitchell has the reach to make that catch.
After the 24-yard gain, Bell goes to the shotgun. Has time, has his target. A little short of the first down. It's Andrew English with his first catch of the night.
Now watch Dwayne Morgan here, the left tackle of the Toronto Argonauts, giving good protection. Has Doug Hawking, I believe, in a one-on-one situation. Of all the Argonaut offensive linemen, I think this guy is the best. You look at him right here. He has excellent feet. He has good leverage, and he maintains his leverage through the entire pass play. Keep your hands in there. See how he sets his feet again. He recovers on the subtle spin move by the defensive end. Dwayne Morgan, I think, is their best offensive lineman.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. They're super solid on the left side with Morgan and St. John. Long toss. Browning made the catch. Flag is down, but I think the catch will stand. Errol Nash was covering.
Well, you know, this is John Jenkins' offense at its best, where everybody seems to be well coordinated and you're gaining separation on the receivers.
It helps when you hang on to the football.
Isn't that the truth?
Decline. First down.
Was a call against the Bomber secondary, and it's declined for obvious reasons. The Argos will take the gain. 22 yards. So Jenkins still has life in this Argonaut offense.
Boy, he really does, and this is the third play that has been executed to perfection. Beautiful football pass, right in his hands. Nice catch. The basics of football, the fundamentals.
Actually a tough catch. And he made it. Argos first down, end zone toss. Browning again, a little too far that time from Kerwin Bell.
Once again, we see Kerwin Bell on the turf. Now, here's the situation. You either block the blitz, you get rid of the football, or you mix up your plays enough so your quarterback doesn't take that kind of punishment. That's not a real dramatic hit, but it's one more time he got knocked down. You see the pass slightly over the receiver's head. I believe that's Alfonso Browning. Should have dove for the football.
Less than 6 minutes to go. 2nd and 10 facing the Argos. not sure about the call there, but I guess had it worked, it might have.
It would have been great. It would have been great.
I mean, you try and keep teams off balance, and you pass, and then maybe the little draw can fool somebody.
Yeah.
Not the Bombers that time.
You're anticipating a heavy pass rush by the Toronto Argonauts, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and they really didn't get it. In talking to Dave Ritchie, one thing he emphasized that they really worked on the run because they felt that in the last game, they really ignored Michael Jenkins and that they would give him the football. And I can't help but think that emphasis really helped this play be a negative yardage situation.
So Marini steps in. 5.5 minutes remaining. And at this point, you still take points where you can as Marini nails another one. And the Argos slip a little bit closer, but it's still a 2-touchdown advantage for the Blue Bomber.
Right now, inside specially marked Molson get-together packs of 12 Coors Light and 12 Canadian, you'll find a Coors Light t-shirt. Collect all 6. Got your get-together pack? No purchase necessary. Must be legal for 18 age.
Can anybody find me somebody to love? He works hard every day of my life. I work till I ache my bones.
To help you stop every time, come to Speedy Auto Service for Raybestos premium brake pads or shoes installed from just $89.99.
Somebody, ooh, somebody, can anybody find me somebody to love?
It's being the guy with the ball. It's being the only girl out there.
It's finally making a play that you've never made before.
It's being scared and playing like you're not.
It's running as fast as you can. It's getting dirty. It's having guts. It's never wanting to stop. Never wanting to stop.
It's having fun. Ah!
It's getting better.
It's playing with your friends.
It's teamwork. It's winning the big one. Gatorade. Gatorade.
Gatorade.
Is it in you?
CFL fans, move with AMJ Campbell between now and September 30th, and you'll qualify for a chance to win a trip for 2 to the big game in Montreal. Call 1-888-AMJ-MOVE. AMJ Campbell, the official movers of the Toronto Argonauts.
Kerwin Bell has done a pretty nice job for the Toronto Argonauts in the second half, but the Bombers still have a 2-touchdown advantage, and Winnipeg has the ball again. Here's Kahari Jones. He has Troy Mills turning the corner and sliding out of the backfield. Yep. Lots of weapons at Jones' disposal here so far tonight.
Well, now the Toronto Argonauts have 2 people they're competing against, or 2 elements they're competing against. One is the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and the 12 football players there, and the other one is the clock. You watch this, once again, a very nice accurate pass. He hits Mills in stride. When you hit those running backs in stride, I can't emphasize this enough, you're going to get some extra yards.
First down. Winnipeg at the Bomber 46. Slight delay to Blunt. Well read by the Argos, and Capers made the tackle there, stuffing Eric Blunt.
Well, John, you're right. I mean, that play where they pull the guards, where they pull the tackle, it's a counter play trying to get everybody to shift their weight to one side. You bring the football back to the other side. We talked about how Winnipeg has done a great job of really diagnosing some of these plays. Well, the Argonauts have too, in particular this play. Nice little finesse move by Payton. He knows the exact moment to make the tackle down low.
Loss of a bit. This is second and just over 10 yards. Jones is wrapped up. 3rd sack of the night by the Argonauts, and the 2nd by Alfred Payton.
Well, I'll tell you, Alfred Payton is one of the best finesse pass rushers I have seen in a long time. What does that mean? It means he uses very subtle movements. His hands, his overall picture way over there. Yeah, right there. To the left of your screen. See how he slaps the hands down of the offensive lineman? What that does is it gets that offensive lineman out of his leverage position. It hurts his footwork. The minute that offensive lineman is out of his position, that's when Alfred Payton accelerates. What he needs to do is work on the other side of his game, the physical. Every now and then, Alfred, you got to try to run over those big boys.
Tyrone Rogers had 1 sack in the first half. Payton had his first sack in the final seconds of the opening half, so it really didn't do the Argonauts a great deal of advantage, or it wasn't a great advantage to the Argonauts. This one could really help. I mean, all of a sudden you're going to get the ball back here, and there's time to get into the end zone in a hurry, and then you're within 7. A little too much time taken by the ageless one, Bob Cameron.
He is an ageless one, isn't he?
He really is.
That's amazing. I figured he'd get tired of football after a while, you know?
Well, he's a kicker.
Well, I know, but you see, I'm trying to be nice here. I mean, I like my kickers. Kickers to me are like, they have their moments, and they have to capitalize on those moments.
Well, how about Troy Westwood? I mean, he fits into the kicker category.
He does, doesn't he?
Outside, Toronto, on the 37. 3rd down, repeat it.
The thing that just gets me about kicker, they're in a non-violent position all the time.
Well, Westwood can kick, he can sing, he can tap dance, and he is unbeaten as a professional boxer.
See, he is totally dissatisfied with football. He has to try all those other things.
Tap dancing is his latest skill.
It's not my skill.
Cameron was telling me before the game that he was in a play somewhere in Winnipeg as a dancer. Good kick by Cameron. And the return, not very significant for the Argonauts.
Well, John, here we go. We got 3 minutes and 45 seconds. There is not that much in terms of separation of points. You have an offense that once it starts clicking, it is hard to stop. Here comes Kerwin Bell. He's made it to the 4th quarter. It surprises a lot of us. You see him coming off the field. He's not walking perfectly, so to speak. The Bombers know that. I wouldn't be surprised if they came after him, because if they do create one more turnover, that pretty well could be the game. See Michael Clemens there. Don't think for 1 minute that this young man does not take these losses and these situations hard. In the Montreal game, he said it was one of the most difficult things he had to adjust to, losing.
Alford made the catch, and it's good for about 5 yards. I'm thinking if Lancaster is watching down there in Ancaster tonight, he's saying this game is just getting interesting.
I know.
3 minutes to go.
Hey, how about his football team?
How about
Hamilton Ticats played extremely well on defense, made some big plays. Joe Montford, you saw that pass by Kerwin Bell. One of his biggest things is arm strength. When you have arm strength, the whole field is open to you.
Ticats with a huge win over the Lions last night. Montford to start. Here's Bell trying to be the star for the Argos, and Alford couldn't hang on. Pretty good defense by Raphael Ball. He just about snuck it through, did Kerwin Bell? Not quite. Ball was there. 3-minute warning at Skydome, and the Argos will have to gamble on 3rd and 4.
The Roman aqueducts have stood here since 145 BC, able to endure centuries because of an engineering marvel, the arch. A curved structure so incredibly strong that even when great pressure is applied to it, it holds its shape. A design with such strength and integrity that to this day, modern man has yet to improve upon it.
Excuse me? Dude, wake up. Hello? Yoo-hoo! Dude!
Just a reminder, Wendy's pickup window's open late, so you can get anything on the menu made fresh.
Forget something?
And eat great, even late.
Introducing new Gillette Arctic Ice Invisible Solid Antiperspirant. It gives you protection that goes on clear and lasts all day. Arctic Ice Antiperspirant from Gillette.
The best action movie of the summer is here. The New York Times says Kiss of the Dragon has set a new standard for action. Jet Li is the greatest action star in movies today. Kiss of the Dragon. Now playing only in theaters.
Sunday, the Wild Winston Cuppers race into the Windy City. NASCAR moves to the Chicagoland Speedway for the Tropicana 400. NASCAR gets the green. Sunday on TSN.
3 minutes to go. Here's the game story for Winnipeg. Jones, 19 of 28, 331. Bell, 24 of 37, 323. Catches. Stoddard has 5 for Winnipeg. Alford, 8 for the Argonauts. Toronto goes gambling here, and the Argos come up with a first down. Alford made the catch, his 9th of the night. Bell, cool as a cucumber and right on the money.
Pressure play. I mean, in talking to John Jenkins, one of the questions I had from him is, do you have the personnel to run this type of offense? He said, you know what? Maybe not in terms of perfection, but I have one kid that I like, and that's Alford, number 82.
Second half passing, Jones 100 yards, Bell 198. Here's Bell again, far side. He has Browning. Browning tried to slip through a tackle there, but he's held on to by Coleman. 2:29 to go, and the Argos are within 2 touchdowns of the Blue Bombers.
You know, what's interesting, John, is you look at the Montreal game, and what was the critical point for Toronto is the way they started. They kind of got behind early, and what happened in this game, the way they started, Winnipeg jumped on them. Now in the fourth quarter, they seem to have much better rhythm, confidence, timing within this offense.
Second down, 4 to go. Bell releases. Jenkins couldn't hang on. That's another part of the game story tonight. Drop passes by the Argos. And the game story is brought to you by SportCheck.ca, Canada's choice for sporting goods.
You know, John, the thing about drop passes, as we see this, is that they're so obvious. I mean, you look at it and you're like, he has the ball in his hands. Now, there's also other aspects that are not as obvious. Are you picking up the blitzing linebackers? Are you maintaining your pass blocks? Are the mental reads there? Is everybody doing everything they can after the play to perform blocks? That's what you look at film. The drop passes are the obvious ones.
This could be the ball game on 3rd and 3. Bell has a tip and almost intercepted. The ball goes to the Bombers, and Kahari Jones has 2:08 to wipe off the clock. A valiant attempt by Kerwin Bell to stage a comeback.
Yep.
And there were just too many little things that went wrong for the Argonauts.
Right. That's exactly right. Nice bump on the crossing pattern. You see Mitchell there was open for a moment, and all of a sudden he was right in the middle of 3 different Blue Bombers, frustrated on the play. And here's the thing about football. Winning is what you're supposed to do. I mean, everyone gets paid to win. That's the way it's supposed to be. But losing hurts more than winning feels good. And for the Toronto Argonauts, they're on the verge of having their 2nd loss at home, going into next week against the Hamilton Ticat team that looked pretty doggone good last night.
Who said that? Losing hurts more than winning feels good. Is that you?
I'll take that one as an original.
I don't know if the grammar is correct, but it's a pretty good saying. Troy Mills inside the 40. Gotta like this Blue Bomber team. We've seen them 2 weeks in a row. They knocked out the Stampeders with a very convincing 4th quarter performance last week. Here they had the advantage early. And a nice lead at halftime.
And 2 road wins. I mean, if you can win the majority of your games at home and split on the road, you can have a winning season. It sets up next week Winnipeg and Montreal in Winnipeg. They're going to have a sold-out stadium in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
Last time the Blue Bombers were 2-0 to start the season was 1990.
Wow.
And that was the last time the Blue Bombers won a Grey Cup. Blunt now. Bombers have not had much luck here at Skydome. 4 wins, 15 losses, and 1 tie since the joint opened.
Well, you know, you got to give Dave Ritchie a little bit of credit because he inherited a situation that was difficult. There was a little bit of financial mismanagement. The Canadian talent on this team was not good 3 years ago. And you look at what Brendan Tam and the players that he's been able to bring in, and Dave Ritchie and what he's been able to do with those players. This is the best Winnipeg team I have seen in a number of years.
Well, and what's interesting about it is when you look at the way Kahari Jones has played tonight and how he's used all his rookie receivers. I should maybe rephrase that a little bit. All his new receivers, because Stoddard was around last year and got a little experience. So was Marcus Howe. Arlen Bruce is brand new. And, of course, there's Milt Stegall, who's all-Canadian. But looking at this lineup a year ago, there was Robert Gordon, Albert Johnson III, and G. Roy Simon in the lineup.
And it was such a different offense, John. It was an offense based on pass, pass, pass. Not anymore. This is much more of an offense that has some balance to it, has a physical side to it. Give a little bit of credit to that offensive line up front. They've done a good job, a consistent job throughout the game.
Here's the kicker who can tap dance too. Troy Westwood. 3 of 4 tonight, 48, 13, and 45. Well, he shanked that one a little wide, and Mitchell likes to take it out. Had he broken that and gone all the way, it might have been a little more interesting in the final 38 seconds. So
nice
where
return.
Yeah, so where do the Argos go from here? Well, they stay here and host Hamilton next week.
Yeah. I'm a big believer that there comes a point with the Toronto Argonauts, you see they have Hamilton, and then they've got 4 road games. Saskatchewan, Calgary, play Winnipeg again, and off to Montreal, and it's tough to win in Montreal. But in a lot of ways, it's the players. The players have to pay attention to detail, and it hurts this guy. I mean, he's going to put on a brave face. He's going to say the proper things, but Michael Clemens is a serious head football coach. He wants to develop this team. He looks at the big picture, but at the same time, he's learning on the run.
Kerwin Bell down by a couple of touchdowns. Not much hope here. Darryl Mitchell made the catch with 31 seconds to go. When you look what might have been here tonight, I'm not thinking that the Argos deserve to win this football game. They likely deserve to be a little bit closer.
Yes. I think in the first quarter, what surprised me was how well Winnipeg drove on the Argonaut defense. That was the one key issue, that if Winnipeg was not going to have an area of success, that's what it would have been.
In face of Chris, the Bombers let up a little bit with a fairly healthy halftime lead, and it was really a slow start to the second half for Kahari Jones.
It seems to just happen naturally. We saw it in previous CFL games where teams play very well in the first half, and then the third quarter there just seems to be some type of a motion that leaves the team for a period of time until the other team scores, and then there's that urgency to get back in the game.
Harold Nash has one with 2 seconds on the clock. And that'll wrap this whole thing up at Skydome tonight. Don't forget, hang with us for part 2 of our doubleheader as we send you to Commonwealth in Edmonton.
Okay, this is a big win for Winnipeg on the road, Eastern Division game. Now they got to be at home, play Montreal, and if I'm not mistaken, did Mike Pringle have 160 yards last night?
4 touchdowns, 169 yards for Pringle.
Well, you know, I'm not a defensive coordinator, but I'd say that's priority 1 for the Winnipeg defense. Stop Mike Pringle.
Anyway, good start for the Bombers. 2-0, first time in a long, long time, back 11 years. First time that the Bombers have won at Skydome since Chris Schultz was a pup.
I know.
Right?
That's right.
1994, you were still playing.
I was still playing.
Throwing those old lookout blocks.
Oh, no.
Blue Bombers full value for a solid start this season. 2 wins. Great effort offensively tonight.
Yes, and for the Toronto Argonauts, pay attention to detail. Get back on the practice field. It's the little things in football that mean absolutely everything. Running your patterns with the precision, picking up the blitz consistently. Each level supporting the other level in offensive football. That's the key.
And a few of those drop passes will look a little larger when you watch them in the tape room tomorrow if you're one of the Argonauts who dropped one tonight. First half of Wendy's Friday Night Football is complete. Stay tuned for part 2.
Play Safeway's $1 Million Touchdown to win. Shop and swipe your club card for automatic $1 million entry. If your name appears, you've won the Casio Wrist Camera. Store up to 100 digital images. The Casio Wrist Camera opens up a whole new world of visual communication. Or $200 in Sportmark gift certificates. The coolest brands for every season at guaranteed best prices. Also shop online at sportmark.ca. Sportmark, real stuff for real people. Shop and swipe at Safeway for your chance to win $1 million.
Change photo finishers.
What's the point? Oh, who's hungry?
For truer colors, look for a Kodak Image Check store.
Ladies and
The Molson Indy, July 13th, 14th, and 15th. It's more than a race. 3 action-packed days of Thunder Rally, Motorfest, and over 180,000 geared-up fans. Speeds at 230 miles an hour, and the most highly advanced cars on the planet. 30 world-class drivers in wheel-to-wheel combat, and 1 Molson Indy winner. Experience the excitement of Molson Indy Weekend. Call 416-872-INDY to get your tickets now.
This is so cool. Loaded with lots of stuff. Totally fun to drive. All at a sweet 179 beans a month.
Oh, yeah. Our Elantra is not only the coolest looking sedan around. At $199 a month, it's nothing to sweat about.
Finding a car that spoils me with the kind of stuff you normally find on expensive cars? Now that's cool.
Right now, get a cool summer deal on a new Hyundai. Cool.
Pizza? Dude, we're gonna be late. Relax.
Down there. Gets soggy, man.
Trust me.
No way.
Yes way.
All right, we'll see.
Microwave pizza, new from McCain, with a special microwave disc. Real crispy, real fast.
Okay, so it worked. Don't act like you invented it.
Canadians have places to go, things to do, so they go Midas. Alignment, we do that. Air conditioning, we do that. Brakes, we do that. So for total car care by certified technicians, who does it all? Midas, we do that.
So there's your final 30-16. Without a doubt, the player of the game was Kahari Jones, the quarterback of the Bombers. The Argos had opportunities to make it closer, but they now have just 1 offensive touchdown to show for 2 games so far. You know, going into this ball game, Eric Tillman, head coach of the Argos, Pinball Clemens, said that the team to watch, in his eyes, were the Blue Bombers, and they are 2-0, and they look very good.
Yeah, no question. To start off on the road with 2 consecutive wins is a huge step for them. And if you look down the road, this team has the 2 most important elements for success. They have quality play at quarterback, and as Chris Schultz alluded to, they have really upgraded their Canadian talent. An impressive performance tonight. I like the fact that they're physical. I think they have balance on offense. They're going to get some guys back from this NFL agreement, guys probably like Albert Johnson, G. Roy Simon, so they'll get better as the year goes on. And also they have a veteran coach that knows how to win. Remember, Dave Ritchie won 32 games in 3 years at British Columbia, 25 games in 2 years at Montreal. That kind of leadership is going to certainly help the team down the stretch.
Now, as for the Argos, you and I had noted that Pinball Clemens looked very dejected when he spoke with John Liu, and it takes a lot to get this guy down. He's going to be even further down after this one.
Dave, it's not an easy business, and he's finding that out. And if this team does not play better next week, he's going to have to start making some tough decisions. Guys he's played with, guys that are friends, are not getting the job done. They have to turn it around. They have to turn it around quickly.
30-16 is the final in Game 1 of the Wendy's Friday Night Football doubleheader. One coach is 2-0, the other one is 0-2. More coming right up.